hope you all are well. This is a continued discussion of information pertaining to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. As most of you know, law officials are continuing to search near her home in the Catalina foothills. Brian Enton has uploaded information that authorities are asking anyone that lives near her 2 mile radius to forward any video information of persons looking strange, wandering about, trespassing, so on and so forth. Another video has been um, brought forward of a man trying to put a backpack over a fence, showing his face. He doesn't have a mask on. Don't know if it has anything to do with Nancy. Just a lot of information. They had a tarp up at her home, a tent. Don't know what they were using it for, but it was outside the entryway to her residence, and I'm assuming it was to gather information, evidential material. Excuse me. Some people say maybe it was to measure uh, that video where we see the perpetrator trying to dismantle her Ring camera. So perhaps the FBI are trying to do some measurements pertaining to that video. I was thinking maybe they were going to be bringing things out of her home and didn't want people to see, but naturally they would have to cover most of the walkway because depending on how big the items are and what they would have on them, they wouldn't want us to see those things. TMZ has decided to upload more information of another note. We're going to discuss that, and we're also going to discuss the motive for removing Nancy from the house. As I brought you commentary yesterday and the day before, I brought you a theory that possibly this was a sexual assault. And this is why she was removed from the house. Because we know that most people are unalived by people that they know. But occasionally they are also unalived by people that they don't know who break in. So one guy was calling it burglary/invasion. He didn't consider this a burglary. It was an invasion because the person came in while a party was there. Very interesting. What is your theory to the motive? Your theory to why she was removed? Because as I have been saying to you about linkage, a person who knows her would remove her. Rarely does a stranger remove a victim. The only time I can see a stranger removing a victim is possibly and mainly a sexual assault. They are in the registry, sex offender registry. They have been investigated for a sexual assault, and they do not want someone knocking on their door saying, "We found an elderly person unalive, alive, and your DNA was inside of this person, and how did it get there?" Do you see where I'm going? So was she sexually assaulted? And that is why she was removed out. Or this is a home invasion and this person did not care about her being in there. They came with a weapon, used the weapon, and removed Nancy from the property, naturally by a vehicle. We also hear information about a glove. Is this glove going to be linked to Nancy Guthrie? Now, this crazy information about another note. This person wants to give information to the perpetrator. I'm confused. Days ago, you were trying to tell us where she is, ain't. You have her. One information source said you're going to release her after 7 days. You didn't want to talk about it anymore. Oh, the Apple Watch was at the foot of the bed and a broken light outside. Is this information true that her watch was found at the foot of her bed? Will officials tell us that yes, her watch was found at the foot of the bed? Why would her watch be at the foot of the bed? Please explain to me. This is another ploy to get money. And we're also going to hear that this note is coming from the same email address where this person was saying, "I'm going to tell you who the perpetrator is." So we're going from, I've got her, here are clues that I have her, I'm going to return her in 7 days, I want $4 million, I want 6 million. Now it's, oh, I don't want to be a rat. I need money to go underground so nobody can find me. Are you all hearing this bullshit? Okay, here we go. Wow.
TMZ has obtained a second email from the man who claims to know the identity of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper. We told you yesterday that this man sent us an email saying that he will reveal the name if he gets 1 Bitcoin. We checked the account all day. He did not receive anything. The account is bare. So this morning, just after 8 a.m. Pacific time, he sent us this other email complaining that he is not being taken seriously. He says that he wants the Bitcoin, which is worth around $67,000, for several reasons. Number one, he says by coming forward, he will become as he puts it, a national rat. He also says, and this is a quote, he doesn't want to be, quote, incriminated like that guy Carlos. Remember, Carlos is the delivery man who was taken into custody a couple of days ago briefly. He was detained and then released. He says that he fears retaliation if he comes forward, and that he needs the Bitcoin because he's going to have to lay low after coming forward. And then he talks about a difference between yesterday and today, and we are not going to get specific about what he's talking about.
Once again,
it is chilling what he is insinuating here, but we have told law enforcement we're not going to get specific about that, but he makes it very clear here that this will be his second and last attempt. We have checked the Bitcoin address that he sent us. By the way, the one from yesterday and today, they are the same. And we checked the Bitcoin address just before I'm shooting this and talking to you. And again, there is nothing in that Bitcoin account, at least right now.
TMZ uploaded 2 hours ago, everyone. To keep my composure. Harvey. Let Queen talk to you. Hope you can hear me in East Tennessee. Please stop repeating this bullshit. First, you thought the letters were articulate. Now here you go days later with this, oh, the information is chilling. It's as if you believe random shit that somebody is feeding you in an email. You don't even know who the hell this person is. So help me understand. This person saying they don't want to incriminate themselves. You can only incriminate yourself if you are involved in the disappearance of Nancy and or unaliving her, all of the above. And for a whole week, whoever has been sending emails to TMZ and the news, you have yet to show proof of life. That's why you haven't got a damn dollar. And I now know that the FBI put in $151 in that account. If you heard 300, it's 151, as a report I heard earlier. No movement, no shaking on the account. Nobody's taking the money out. So here we go again with some more nonsense from TMZ. Now it's, I fear for my safety. I don't want retaliation. So what, are you a gang member? You're either involved or you're not. You're a gang member. What are you saying? And let me explain to you all what a snitch means. A snitch means you are involved in organized crime. But helping get justice for someone that you know or don't know, that's not snitching. So who the hell is sending these emails? And why do you keep sending them? Why are you jumping on the bandwagon and getting involved in this horrific, horrific story of a 84-year-old missing person? because I still don't believe these emails have anything to do with Nancy. And now we have another mysterious note sent to TMZ, and he doesn't want to explain to us what's inside of the letter because I said I wasn't going to tell. Harvey, I'm sick of your ass. Excuse my language. Harvey, have you ever heard of beware of the messenger? Did your mother ever tell you that growing up, sir? Beware of the messenger. You are, to me, borderline sick. Like the person sending the emails and like the motherfucker that went in Nancy's house. I said that. You are aiding foolishness. And to me, you're aiding a crime. You're aiding these people to keep putting this information out, which is theft. They're trying to steal money from people for false information, which is a scam. It's theft. Theft by deception. Harvey, you should know better. You're an adult. You should know better. And you keep running to your camera with this nonsense, and then you'll stop midway and say, well, I can't divulge what the rest of the letter said. So what's so chilling in this letter? Enlighten me, please. I'd like to know. Let me guess. This person was involved in the home invasion and whatever they did to Nancy and the disposal of her, because I think most of us know that she's not alive. And they want somebody to give them, because we're switching it around now. They want the FBI or Savannah to give them money to lay low. And they have information on who the abductor / murderer is. Did I sum that up correctly? So we've gone from, I got Nancy, I ain't playing around, I want my money, but don't show proof of life, to now, I know who did it. Oh, you're not the person that did it? I'm confused. And Harvey, you just keep on spreading the good news every damn day. You just as crazy as these motherfuckers are. I said that. You are a nut person, wacko, to keep repeating this. I'm starting to wonder if you are high on dope. Yeah, I'm saying it live on YouTube. Because it's starting to look really, really crazy. You keep running in front of the camera with this half-baked story about Nancy Guthrie. And you're making yourself and your company look bad. Oh, my IT guys, they tried to retrieve the email information, but they couldn't. Because they ain't the FBI, that's why. Now, don't make Queen get crunk, okay? Just stop it. I talk to you like you're a child. Harvey? Harvey? Would you please stop putting your hand in the cookie jar? The cookies are no good, Harvey. Bad, 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 Harvey. You're going to get sick, Harvey. We wouldn't want you to get sick, Harvey. You see, Harvey, you keep reporting this bullshit. We're going to be talking about you missing next. Know when to fold, bro. Know when to fold. Now, home invasion. Why would someone want to enter this house? Did they know an elderly lady lived here alone? Did they know Nancy Guthrie? Have they had some type of dealings with this lady? Were they looking to rob her? Where I have the problem is the obvious. You were carrying a weapon, sir. and not carrying it well from what the experts say. That you look like you didn't know what the hell you were doing. You did not come prepared. You didn't bring duct tape or spray paint to paint the camera. So how old are you? 20, 25, 30, 35? Do you have a family? Do you have children? We know you have a mother because you came here. And this is what you would do in your spare time, is wreak havoc on an elderly person and her family and the community. And Queen. And you're sitting somewhere scared, I know. Because you know what you're thinking to yourself? What have I forgotten? They already have a video. Damn, did I drop something? Damn, did I throw that glove out? I shouldn't have done that. What did you do with the cameras? I'm curious. Because some of us have a feeling that we're going to hear some not so nice things on that cameras that you removed from Nancy's house. Because I know your stupid self carried them in her house. And you probably were talking to yourself like you're doing now, wondering what you've done to get yourself caught. Did you turn your phone off? Hello, Kimberly. Have you been circling this woman's house in the neighborhood for God knows how long? I also got information before going live that they're looking for footage dating back to January 11th. So the FBI are doing their damn job, for some of you who say they're not. People are talking, people are turning in tips. Just like with the Carlos nonsense. Don't know if that's going to pan out to be anything. But the point is, something led them to Carlos, which I would call it geofencing. So whoever has been in the area, bad boy, bad girl, there will be knocking on your door to talk to you about why you were circling the globe at 2 a.m. We're now hearing information about this infamous video that it's at 2:12 a.m. So now you can try to decide how long he was actually in Nancy's house and what the hell he was doing since the time has changed. They've got the accurate time now. A lot of little bits of crumbs being relayed to the public. Why? Why her? Why that night? Did the perpetrator know that there was an elderly person in there? Or they just wanted to do a home invasion and they were going to exact harm? So are we going to find out that it was going to be somebody, DEAD in Tucson, Arizona, February 1st? That it has nothing to do with who she is and who she's related to. And I don't care what nobody says. I go by stats. And the stats say it's either personal or you've left a lot of DNA behind. Keep your hands to yourself and stay out of people's house. Yes. And this is a lesson learned to all of us who are living. Trust no one. Not your friends, not your family, not the plumber, but because people watch your home. I think back to would have been last year, I guess. I get my times mixed up. When I had work being done in my bathroom at the last apartment, and all these guys were coming in. And the first thing I kept saying is, what if I wasn't home? And I got all these people running in my house. They could have been looking in my, kitchen cabinet doors, getting my meds, anything. But I watched how they looked when they came in. Because I had a very small living area. So it wasn't much in there, okay? But my apartment was nice, just like this one, But I can tell what people are thinking because I'm a good observer. When they would walk in the apartment, they were looking. One, they're looking around and noticing that it's very clean. And they're also looking to see what the fuck I had in there. And the first thing I was thinking to myself, you're not about to take nothing up out of here because we got cameras all through the hallway, the lobby, outside, and you ain't about to get out of here with nothing big anyway. If you stole anything, it has to be something small. So I didn't keep valuables in the bathroom. I didn't keep valuables in the linen closet close to the bathroom. You'd have to make your way into my bedroom or go in the closet off the living room and dig around. And naturally, I'm here in the apartment with you. You ain't about to dig for nothing. But it's the way they look coming in and out. And the first thing I said, these are the type of people, God forgive me, are the people that you should be worried about, because you don't know what they're doing on their off time after they are, doing drywall and taking the sink apart, probably geeking, getting high, smoking fentanyl, heroin. Hell yeah, I said it. I don't care. Because a lot of people get high on drugs. They get drunk, they get high. No, you can't, Ken. You can't believe anything. Hello, Kimberly. Why her? That's what I want to know. Why this lady? And what's going to be really devastating is that it's not personal, because that's what a lot of people are thinking. You all have named people, family members, and what's going to be jacked up, it's not none of those people. It's not Annie. It's not her husband. They didn't hire anybody. It's some random bum running around in the dark looking for a victim. Because I'm trying to figure out why you went there with a GUN and what was in that backpack. Because it was awfully full. And there was something square in that pocket on the back. What was that? Extra bag? A box of gloves? What was it? What the hell did you have in that backpack? And what did you do when you got inside of Nancy's house? Did you get thirsty? Because a lot of you criminals like to eat out of people's refrigerators. Yeah, we're going to go there. You like to drink, you like to get your swig of beer, alcohol, lemonade, drink out the jug, leave DNA, use the bathroom. What did you do inside of this lady's house? Did you steal any of her jewelry? I want to know what was stolen out of Nancy's house. Today, the news showed the back of Nancy's house, which was a robber's dream. Blue door with the window panes in it. So all you have to do is just knock one of the panes out, stick your hand in, and unlock the door. Okay? Or take a drill out the glass, and stick your hand through. So did she have a bolt that needed a key on that back door? Because what is baffling is she has an iron gate door in front of allegedly a wooden door, because I got the wooden door from information from the news today. What is the purpose of the wooden door, an iron gate door in front of that door, to only go in the back of the house and have a little small door with window panes in it? Don't make no sense. And I get it. Most people don't want no heavy ass door in the back of their house. You either have a glass door or you have French doors. And I know they're beautiful, but it's easy access to a person that don't give a fuck about coming in your house. And that's what you need to understand. Those French doors are an open invitation. You gotta have some strong, heavy glass that slides. I'm saying you gotta spend some money on them heavy glass doors that they can't just bust open. And if she was deep in sleep at 2 a.m., he probably just knocked the glass out. And where I have the problem with that is why there is no alarm. Who gets cameras? And I hate to be judgmental because I know possibly this woman is not alive. And we're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, excuse my language, but I'm not gonna put up cameras and don't got nothing that's gonna make no siren sounds. You understand what I'm saying? You have up cameras. We heard that she has a camera back there on that back house, like a pool house or a guest house. But the point I'm trying to make is it doesn't matter to have cameras that you can pop off with your hands. Go to Megyn Kelly's podcast. Her helper showed you it. And that was scary watching that live on her podcast. He was outside his house by the garage, same type of camera, and he popped it off with his own damn hands. And I ain't gonna lie to you. So that goes back to what I'm saying. Pop off cameras with your hands. Don't even need a screwdriver or nothing. Shows you how dumb this guy was. He's sitting here putting flowers and shit in front of the damn camera. And Megyn Kelly's producer or whomever friend, he pops it off with his bare damn hands. Why no alarm? Step away from the house, please. Step away from the house, please. I mean, they got them for cars. You get too close to the car will talk. The alarm will talk. Step away from the vehicle, please. Step away from the vehicle, please. Well, it should be the same for your house. You're being watched. You're being watched. Step away from the house, please. 911's being called. 911's being called. Start making noise. So the cameras don't mean nothing if it ain't no alarm. What is the point? Because we take advantage of aesthetics as people. We say, oh, well, I put this camera up. I don't need the alarm. Whoever walks up, they're going to see the camera and they're going to turn back around. Well, not this time. Because you had a motherfucker who had nothing to live for. Whether he knew an 84-year-old woman was in there or not, he had nothing to live for. I'm going in this house by all means necessary. I don't care. Like everybody keeps saying, oh, he just strolled up. He doesn't look panicked. Because he's crazy as hell. He got a GUN. He gangster. He ready. She's sleeping in her bed. Then pray to the Lord, thinking she get ready to get up and go to church. Satan said, not today, sister. You're not going to church today. No more church for you, Nancy. This is scary as hell. And you keep hearing these stories of people invading people's homes, breaking and entering, putting in keys because they got a spare key. And a lot of us take for granted nobody's going to push our door open. I think about it all the time. I take a shower. I'm looking through the glass when I take a shower, looking out. And my mind is saying, Queen, why are you looking out through the glass? You couldn't do nothing but try to step out and do what? We get too comfortable. This story about Nancy is a wake-up call. You got to quit assuming nothing bad will happen to you. Period. Because in the end, it ain't gonna even matter who did this, why they did it. We're asking these questions because we're human, but the end game is that we have sick people out here who don't give a damn about you. And if it's not Nancy, it's going to be somebody else. So if we got somebody kicking in doors, invading houses, it's going to be somebody in Tucson. Do you understand? Let me talk to the local government. Nobody gives a damn about them stars in the sky. God made those, okay? And when God made the earth, he made light, he made dark for a reason. Miss me with this stupid nonsense about light pollution. It's beautiful in Arizona. People want to see the sky. No, say you want to see the sky, whoever your dumb ass is. And you all are sitting here paying taxes on your house and falling for this bullshit. That's why you got a whole human missing. Because somebody told you that your life is not valuable because there's stars in the sky. And some people want a clear view of the sky without looking at street lamps. I've never heard of such. I can see the moon just fine with the street lamps in the parking lot. I can see the stars just fine. You all better get it together out there in Arizona. You need street lamps on your damn street. I refuse to believe everybody in Arizona wants to stargaze. Stop this foolishness. Just stop it. Who took Nancy out of her house? What is the motive? Personal or random crime? The FBI are working hard to get justice for this lady. They are looking around her home because possibly this is a recovery, and I think this is a recovery of a 84-year-old woman. The ransoms have nothing to do with her disappearance, just some crooks trying to gain free money. And this is pathetic. It's heartbreaking, it's pathetic, it's macabre. The thought of breaking into someone's home, unaliving them, and then taking them out. If it's personal, no, I wouldn't be shocked because people are greedy. But as I have said to you all the past day or two, what if it's not personal? What if some of us got it wrong? Because I never wanted to accuse Annie or her husband or any of their constituents for taking this woman out of her house. Greed, jealousy of the sister, so on and so forth. Could it be that's not what happened February 1st? Could it be some broke ass person was walking around looking for a victim and somebody to rob? Because if they brought a car, which we know they did, SUV, they have enough room to put other valuables in the car. You can dismantle a flat screen off the wall and put it in a car, a van, just a nice size truck. See, we don't even know what type of vehicle they came in, but they came in something. They did not ride a bike. How did they get rid of Nancy? On a bicycle. They did not walk. How would they get rid of Nancy by walking? Stay woke. They drove there. You know that. Did they have help? I don't know. Probably not. And let's get that theory out of our head as well. That a person always needs help to unalive a person. No, you don't need no help. Many men have broken into homes alone. There was no nothing. No co-conspirator, no helper. If they wanted to take the body out, they took the body out. I'm going to share a case with you to why this perpetrator took the body out. Louisiana, Baton Rouge, many years ago, a perpetrator took some of the women out of their homes, discarded them. Why? Why you think? Even sometimes used their car. Anybody have any ideas why this perpetrator would break into these women's homes and, shall I say it? RAPE. He sexually assaulted them, unalived them, used their car to dump them, and then he'd walk on his merry way. Sometimes he'd be cold enough to bring their car back after discarding them. Are you picturing this? Breaking into someone's home, sexually assaulting them, putting them in their own car, driving them to no man's land, dump them, drive back to their house, park their car in the driveway, and he go on his merry way. What if this is that type of case? We have a sexual sadist out in the night looking to sexually assault a woman. You have heard many cases of elderly women being violated and also unalived after being violated. Most left behind. That's why I said there's a possibility this is not a hired hit from family. This is not the cartel. Cartel don't move like this. This has nothing to do with drugs. Old lady ain't getting high. She ain't selling drugs. She ain't owing no money for drugs. Could it be somebody broke in her house because they are a rapist? And they knew if they left her behind, they were going to do DNA swabs and they would have a profile. So without the victim, there's no profile. I'll hide her well or dump her. She'll disintegrate in this heat and they won't get no DNA. So even if he dumped her somewhere close, he's hoping nobody would find her. The animals will take advantage of her and there'll be nothing left of Nancy Guthrie. Yes. Very disturbing. I remember a detective once said, in order to catch a crook, murderer, you got to get in the head of one. You got to think like him or her. So that's what I've done this week. I had to think like one. And I had to think of the motive that would lead me to break into someone's house with a GUN, use it on them, and why I would remove their body. And that's my best answer, besides it being personal. I went there to sexually assault the person, and I don't want to leave my DNA inside of that person. So I got to take her out of here. Because what if we find out that is what happened? We're looking for a sexual sadist who's been investigated for sexual assaults but never was prosecuted. And that is one reason why rapists become murderers, if you did not know. They have been in front of the judge before, and they said the next time I get out of here, there'll be no witness. There'll be no next time. somebody going to the police department to say, I was sexually assaulted, this is what he looked like, blah, blah, blah. No. I'll take her out. I'll dump her. Hopefully nobody will find her. And I'll go back to my merry little life until the next time. So I think we already know, number one, if this was just a home invasion to unalive someone for thrill, they're going to do it again. Number two, home invasion to sexually assault, they'll do it again. Personal, they'll probably sit their ass still. Which one is it? Let's go to my community page and see how you all weighed in on who our perpetrator is and the motive. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Vault XL. The story I want you all to check out pertaining to the man who was sexually assaulting women in Baton Rouge, his name is Derek Todd Lee, and it's called Making a Serial Killer. Okay, you probably can watch it on Tubi. It's very interesting, true crime. When you watch it, you'll see where Queen is coming from. So why a perpetrator would remove a body from a home. The person now asking for $1 Bitcoin, is it the same person who demanded $4 and $6 million to a Bitcoin wallet? 3% said yes, 72% said no, it's a new crook. 24% of you said you're not sure. The search for Nancy Guthrie in the Catalina foothills. 7% of you said she's alive. 71% said it's a recovery. 21% said, I'm not sure. Is Nancy Guthrie a victim of sexual assault? 5% yes, 41% no, 55% said not sure. Bonnie says, I pray not. Will the FBI track all ransom emails and Bitcoin transaction? 71% yes, 14% no, 14% not sure. Bonnie replied, even if it takes them years, they will find out who owns that account. Should TMZ stop publicly reporting ransom emails? 81% yes, 19% no. Bonnie replies again, if they are not reporting responsibility, then yes, they should stop. Publicizing ransom notes or Bitcoin demands could encourage copycats or opportunists that may interfere with the active investigation. A black glove has been found on the roadside 1.5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. Does it belong to the suspect? Yes, 11%. No, 37%. Not sure, 53%. Bonnie says, honestly, I feel like the glove could be the suspect's. Apparently, it's the same kind we saw, and it was found pretty close to Nancy's house. But at the same time, it could just be a random glove someone dropped. I really hope it helps the investigation, but I wouldn't call it proof until the FBI confirms it. 37% of you said you don't think it's the suspect's glove, but 53% of you are not sure. Let's go back to Mr. Carlos, who was detained by law officials the other day. Is he the suspect that took Nancy Guthrie from her home? No, 55%. 40% of you said you're not sure. 5% of you said more are involved with him. Bonnie replied, I'd be curious to know what made the authorities focus on him as a suspect. He may not be the one who has Nancy, but there could be some connection. However small, his mother-in-law vouches for him completely, but like you always say on this channel, you truly don't know people. Then the Queen replied, digital made him a subject. And know that the FBI were tailing him before they put out the video. So he was on their radar before the video was released to the public, and then someone saw the video thinking it was Carlos because of the eyes, and they called in the tip. Those are my questions pertaining to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. You need to be very careful out here. As I always say on this network, you don't know people. Every story you've seen pertaining to true crime, there has always been somebody who will vouch for the perpetrator. Somebody who will say, he didn't do it, she didn't do it. She's not that type, he's not that type. You don't know him. But Queen will reply, you don't know them either. There is no such thing as knowing someone. Because let's be truthful, And I think most of you know where I'm going with this. The last time you had a vile thought of a human being, did you tell the human? Did you tell the person that you wish they were dead? You wish they would fall down a flight of stairs. You want to hurt them, harm them, and meant what you said, but you never told them. You never told Pookie, Ray Ray, or Bubba. Never told Susie Mae. You know, I'd like for him to be DEAD. I wish he never was born, blah, blah, blah. Most people don't tell people their innermost thoughts because they know people will look down on them, shun them. How could you think like that? You should never want someone DEAD. You're a Christian. How dare you think like that? What's wrong with you? We're human. We have been envious. We have been jealous. We have been bullies. We have been greedy. We have coveted. We are human. Lied, stolen. And one thing you hear a lot in true crime, they'll say, now, just because a person lies don't mean they're a murderer. Just because they're a thief don't mean they're a murderer. But the one thing you will find of a murderer is that he or she has been a liar and a thief. Interesting. Kim says, yes, to stars in the sky. Absolutely stupid idiots. It's all I can say. Yeah, what is the Kim, you're funny. Let me tell you something. This is a beautiful country. I have not been all over America, but I have seen beautiful pictures of America. I once went to the library years ago and I got this big book on scenic pictures of America. Breathtaking. I never even knew that Michigan had sand dunes taller than a human. Do you understand what I'm saying? Who knew? Because you don't hear people talking about sand dunes in Michigan. But America is beautiful, gorgeous, from Maine all the way over to Washington State. Beautiful scenery. rural places in between major cities, concrete blocks, skyscrapers. Arizona is the same. But yes, it is stupid to expect someone to live in a home with no street lights. Because the sky is the sky. The moon is the moon, the stars are the stars. But what does that have to do with me being able to see how to get in my damn house? My visitors coming to see me. And to me, this is an open invitation for robbery, assault, stalkers. When you look at the vegetation out there, it gives me the creeps. Looking at the FBI agents rambling around in all that brush and mess. Anybody could be just sitting up in there with a Coca-Cola bottle and a lawn chair. You wouldn't even know they're sitting up in there. And that's what it's like. Row for row for row for row, house for house, brush, 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 brush. And you don't know what's up in there. That's why they're looking. Because this person is not too savvy. Although he's gotten away. I got to give him that credit. He got away. But I don't think he's very bright. And probably lazy. So if that glove belonged to him, he couldn't even get out to jurisdiction before taking the damn gloves off. And I think most of you know, if it's his glove, he took it off because he's dumped her somewhere over there in that vicinity, in at least a 2-mile radius. That's why they want camera information 2 miles out from Nancy's home, because that's where they're suspecting to find her. I won't doubt they're going to find the pants, the shoes, the coat, because where are those things? He pulled the gloves off when he was done with her. Say, whoa. I don't need my gloves to drive home. What am I going to drive home with my gloves for? For what? He discarded her and then he took the gloves off. He pulled over off a side street. One of the news broadcasters, I believe it was for Fox, showed us on the map 3 different ways to get from Nancy's house to the location where the gloves were. So he took one of those streets, pulled over, and took off them damn gloves. So I won't doubt she's somewhere in between where he dumped those gloves off, if indeed those gloves belong to the perpetrator. Hello, Bonnie. Talked you up. I've been reading your comments. Welcome, Bonnie Anderson, to the chat. Thank you, sweetheart. This is scary. Because you have to trust somebody in life. And many people have been hurt by people that they trusted. A lover, a husband, a wife, a child, a mother, a father, a neighbor, a friend, co-worker. People in this country have been unalived by everybody I just named. They thought they knew them. There's no such thing. You'd be surprised how people really feel about you. I keep trying to tell you. And I remember somebody in the comment once said, in a comment box said, well, I would never be around somebody I didn't like. And you know, I had to chuckle because I don't know if I believe that or not. Maybe they meant friends, friend circle. Well, sometimes we're friendly with people we really don't like because we're friends with people who may be related to them. Have you ever had that problem? You really like person A, but who they're related to could be a child or their parent or something. You really don't like them. But you can't tell person A hey, I really don't like your son or your daughter, but I love you. Because you know it causes a problem. So you stay in the circle as long as you can until one day you just say to yourself, fuck this. I'm cutting this one off. I don't care what the other one thinks. Happens every day. I don't know who went in this woman's house. And Lord knows I don't want to think it's one of her children. I don't even want to think it was somebody that she spoke to. Uber driver, DoorDash, UPS, that delivery company that Carlos worked for, GIL or whoever they are. But in the end, as I told you, it really don't matter. The worst scenario is that Nancy is gone. I think most of us know this. We just don't want to say it as not to sound rude or disrespectful, but you have to use logic. You want $4 million, $6 million, you're going to give them what they want to show, yep, I heard her. Here's the proof. I took her. Here's the proof. She's still alive. Here's the proof. They ain't showed nothing. Why not? Oh, you're welcome, Kim. Well, why not show the proof? So now here comes Harvey. I'm so sick of TMZ, I don't know what to do. I'm about ready to boycott their asses. Oh, he said the watch was at the foot of the bed. Why would her watch be at the foot of the bed? Come on now. You've been in her house. You can't describe the bedroom, the living room. You can't describe where you took her from. You can't describe what she was wearing. She had a bonnet on her head, pink pillowcases. That's something you would tell to where agents could go in and say, yeah, pillowcases are pink. It's hideous. But we have these type of people who are just similar to the people who we're talking about. So the person asking for money, you just as low down as the person that went in the house and took her out, put their hands on her. And as I've told you all before, you can't trust nobody that would break in your house, hit you, unalive you, and take you out and dump you like trash. Why would I listen to you tell me about my mama? You broke into my mama's house. You put your hands on my mother. And I'm supposed to listen at your bullshit about a light and a watch. And my mother has been in numerous pictures with me with that watch on. No. Show me my mother alive. She's scared. She knows what's going on. That's low down. I've had all I can take talking about her. No disrespect, but it's draining me. It's draining me. And some people are not pleased that it's on TV every day. I had a lady mention that today. She says every day it's about her. I've seen comments where people are saying other people are missing. They don't get this type of attention. Well, it's high profile. It's a famous person's relative missing. It is what it is. Some want to throw in Epstein, and this is why somebody targeted the mother. Trust me, that thing that was standing at the door, he don't give a fuck about Epstein. He probably don't even know who Savannah is. Everybody don't watch the news. And I doubt the perpetrator gets up and watches the Today Show. I'm just going to keep it real. Worst case scenario, he heard there's a little old lady living in a dark ass place with a famous daughter. That's about it. Oh, she got money. She lives alone. Her daughter's on TV. Oh, hell yeah, we're going to hit that house. But he fucked up. You see, sometimes being gangster ain't being gangster. You're a fool because you're now seen on a camera. And they're going to take every bit of technology they can to see how much you weigh, how tall you are. They're going to do all this digital configuration with your face to remove that mask off and try to give a visual what you look like, homeboy, without the mask. And we're going to thank AI for that. Because everybody I see on Facebook is using AI for these little pictures of them, what they look like, dreamy. They did one of me the other day, and I thought, "Ooh, Lord, she's pretty." But all in all, that's not queen. But that's what they're going to do for you, sir. You know, it's going to be also scary if we find out this perpetrator has children. He has children. He has a girlfriend. He has a wife. Because most of these perpetrators do have children. And they have girlfriends. They have wives. They have jobs. You live in Arizona, you're going to have a day job. Rent high. So what is your theory out there? Personal, family member, hired somebody to go into Nancy's home to unalive her. Random home invasion, but had murder on the mind. Somebody that knows her. Didn't like something she said or did. Had an altercation with one of her children, friends, associates. Maybe a guy she liked, dated. Looks kind of young though, maybe, but as I said, older people like to court and date. They like to have comfort, sex. Could this be somebody that she liked? She dated. They would visit one another. Somebody that misunderstood her demeanor. Thought she was flirting with him. Oh, I'll go back. Please watch the live from yesterday. I go deep in the belly of the beast. Because I think sometimes people don't like to hear certain things about people. Because what they think of them, they don't want other people to think ill of them. So they'll say, no, my mom wouldn't do that. So let's role play before I check out of here. Continuation from yesterday's live. She was dating someone, liked someone, too nice to someone, delivery person, Uber. She was witnessing about the Lord, God. Hey, come to church. Go to my friend's house for church. You're welcome to stop by anytime. You're welcome to stop by here. We'll talk about the Bible. Could she have invited the wrong company to her doorstep home? You seem like a nice person. Stop by. We can have Bible study. Maybe some young guy flirted with her. They're not going to give any press conferences, sweetheart, until they get an update. Could it be a young guy flirted with Nancy? Maybe she was flattered. She's human. Maybe he went too far in conversation. Could she have given her number out to the wrong type of person, male? He sent dirty pictures or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out here. Because I think a lot of you don't want to go deep in the belly of the beast. It's too easy to stay on the surface, which would be family. But if you go deep in the belly of the beast, it could be something very simple. Hello, T. Conky, how are you? Could be Nancy was too nice to someone who went too far, made sexual advances towards her. She was offended. They kept coming by. Let me in. Let me in. I'm out here. Let me in. You all will be surprised, as I told you, how many young men are attracted to older women. Some of you are going to say, but Queen, she's 84. So what? There are men who are 28 years old who would date Nancy Guthrie, try to court her, sleep with her. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I'm being real. Because a lot of people can't go in the belly of the beast like Queen. I take you in places people don't want to go. Because I remember somebody in the chat said the other day, they said, Queen, I think we're all going to be shocked when we find out who hurt her. Mm-hmm. May not be personal. Might be somebody she talked to, waved at, made cookies for. Because when people become familiar with you, you sometimes like to be nice. Okay, he's coming by again. I'll have some cookies waiting for him. Batch of fudge. And maybe he misunderstood the kindness. Just hypothetical. Because it happens every day. As I was telling you all last night in the live, I had an elderly neighbor years ago who was attracted to younger men. She dated younger men. And although she had dementia, she still remembered liking men and younger men. And a certain person was starting to knock on her door, stop by, and he was known to be not such a good character, if you know where I'm going. Doing things such as calling women, hanging up, sitting on the phone line, going in her apartment, pretending he needed water. But he wasn't on the up and up, if you understand what I'm saying. So her family put cameras in her apartment and also told him, we don't want you going by mama's house anymore. Don't knock on the door, don't visit. And they told her, don't let him in your apartment because he was doing things that was not favorable towards women. Went into the girls' locker room at the high school, made his way in there, stole a shirt off a mannequin at a church across the street. Very busy. Hiding behind building doorways, peeping. I saw that for myself. Do you follow where I'm going? Could it be Nancy invited a demon in her peripheral? She was too nice. Maybe they were confiding in her about their life, their personal problems when they were doing their runs. Because, you know, when we get in people's cars doing the Uber, DoorDash, we talk to people. They talk to us. They tell us they're having a bad day. They ain't made no money. Could it be she invited the wrong person her inner circle. And maybe they thought, I could get this lady. She probably got some money. She's old. I don't ever see anybody coming and going from her house. No dogs running around. There's never any children outside playing. Because people don't tend to want to break in places where there's a lot of traffic, foot traffic. But when they notice you don't have a lot of people coming and going, or not a lot of cars in the driveway, your house starts to tell its story. It speaks for itself. Exactly, Julia. It may be just as simple as that. She was nice to somebody, spoke to somebody out in Tucson, running an errand, grocery store, delivery person. You know, people start to talk to people when they're delivering things. How are you doing? How are you doing? What's going on? Oh, nothing. Oh, my girlfriend broke up with me. I don't know what's wrong. She's mad at me, blah, blah, blah. See, you never know. And she could have easily said, well, I'll pray for you. If you ever need anything, just call me. Here's my number. You don't know. I don't want it to be anybody in her family for the obvious reasons. Because that means she spawned a demon, perhaps. Or the child got wrapped up with the demon and rode the ride, which still means you're a demon. Exactly. Smile in your face. Ulterior motives. I've been on YouTube too much with this case, starting to make me crazy. But I got a hold of Annie's poem, and I was getting tired of listening to this person narrate this weird video I watched, because they were going on and on about them, and I was starting to get lost until she finally got to the point of the poem. Because I was like, hey, lady, I'm starting to fall asleep. Get to the point. So she read the poem. Very dark. Now, I used to write poetry a long time ago when I was younger. And recently, years back, I wrote a poem. It was kind of dark, maybe. Maybe not as dark as this one. Annie, what was that poem about? I'm confused. Maybe I can find it. Hold on, you guys. Because I didn't really understand it. Matter of fact, no, I'm going to go to my page, because I shared it on my page for you all to check it out. We're going to listen at it here shortly. Yes, a poem she wrote years ago. As you know, allegedly she's an author. But she hasn't written anything or published anything recently. Check out the story of Todd Lee, everybody. Baton Rouge serial killer. The poem is called The Destroyer. Okay? 2012 interview. I don't really understand what I was hearing. Somebody else's content. Stop, wait.
Nancy Guthrie remains unresolved. Nancy Guthrie is the mother of journalist Savannah Guthrie.
Let me get through some of that.
Law enforcement resolved. Nancy Guthrie and sister of Savannah Guthrie. This material was Annie Guthrie. What follows is presented exactly as it appeared, as historical writing. This is Annie Guthrie and her family. Which one is Annie? Her sister, the older. And what's that body of water behind him? February 2012 issue issue of Art Forum, nasturtiums on the side of Annie's house are edible. Here is one of Annie's poems in the magazine titled The Destroyer. 2 eggplants have not yet emerged from her garden. In the back corner of her refrigerator is a half-eaten melon and foil. She lives in Tucson with her husband, Tommaso. Tommaso is Italian. He is a brilliant cook. Showing me a map, Annie says, this is where I lived for many years. The map is of Firenze. She points to the street where she studied metal and sizing techniques with an old man named Franco. See my dirty fingernail? She says, you have to really think of your questions because Franco doesn't say anything. I like that maps are called plans, Annie says. The Guthrie family is well known in Harlan County, Kentucky, where many of Annie's ancestors were miners. It can be difficult to know where one fits into such a scheme, even as it goes. But to sit on top of a mountain in Italy, surrounded in silence by 8 elderly women, watching themselves and the floating rings of existence in the air before them. I'm going, Annie, I say, but then Annie says, do you want to see my artichoke? Within that Tumblr post, the author references a poem by Annie Guthrie titled The Destroyer. The poem was linked in the original post as part of her literary work.
Sorry.
What follows is the poem in full, read exactly as it appeared. The Destroyer Annie Guthrie, I stayed anyway, I think caressed his body. I think it was female. A large rash of warts was equivalent to resignation. Beautiful mind. What you can do with a knife. I was a pair with the question, what is the motion of a secret? A secret doesn't move unless it's shared. If I do it all by hand, it's carving. Otherwise, it's longing. I had one by myself. That blade was a photograph of last year, all year long. I got the whole thing in one exposure, splicing neg. The muscles were appropriate. No one was different. I stayed all year in residence. Beautiful knife. What can you do to weeping keeping? All year long. It was female. It was yours. Thank you for watching. Follow this channel for additional
Hey, beauty. Annie, what are you trying to say in the poem? That you were with a woman? Because that's what it sounds like. And I was with it all year. Saying you touched a person, but it was a woman. You say you touched him, but it was a woman. So is this poem about self-discovery? You were with what, a trans person? I'm confused. Help me understand. Just saying. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Oh, Julia, please. Well, you know, she's using a metaphor because she's saying, you know, the knife and the pear, she was the pear or whatever. I took it as that maybe she was with somebody who she wasn't supposed to maybe be with for a long time. Do we need to play it again? Maybe Queen need to find it and read it again. Damn. Ooh, I can't. Annie Guthrie's poem, The Destroyer.
Here are the top search results.
It put Danny. This is so stupid. I hate this AI mess. Yeah, I know I listened to too much of it. See, this AI, it don't even know what I'm looking for. Hold on, everybody. Poem The Destroyer, Annie Guthrie. Oh, I know, honey. Here we go. And also, Savannah has uploaded a video of her family, mom and the kids. Nancy had long hair when she was younger, dark hair. All of them were originally dark haired children. They just dyed their hair blonde over the years. Well, it won't. So obviously this woman did an interview of her. Father, he had dark hair. So the woman that met her at a poetry center. Okay. Well, I don't see it. It's showing the interview, but it's not showing. Oh, no, it's not going to go cold, honey. Did you see the report about the suspicious car in the area a month before the abduction? I guess they're going through all the neighbor cameras and finding stuff. No, I didn't see that. Last thing I heard was the video of the guy trying to put the backpack over that fence. Why they don't show the poem? This is weird. Well, it's on my community page. What is this Substack everybody keeps talking about? I don't even know what that is. So she taught writing and poetry classes at the University of Arizona. So I guess she has a degree. She released a book in 2015 called The Good Dark. Guthrie writes, the world unwound, shut down, thunder, and a newly reckoned darkness. Darkness makes the birds sound otherwise. Foregoing capitalization and most punctuation speeds the waters along, and while the brook babbles at first, it quickly turns to rapids, describing a coming storm. The poem is rife with tension. Every lead cloud passing is reaching. The staccato arrhythmia mimicking a fear-filled heart. In that calm just before the thunder claps and lightning strikes, silence can't be demonstrated. It has no edge. Is that it? That can't be it. I don't understand what I'm reading. And I don't think that's her. I don't guess. Well, it says Guthrie writes. I don't know. Maybe that's from The Good Dark, the book. I'm not sure. Because we're not supposed to judge people on what they write, but I don't know. Oh, Substack is like a version of Reddit, but you get paid to read their posts like amateur journalism. Okay. Sorry, you have to pay, not get paid. Oh, okay. Let me see what this is pulling up, this project dictionary. Everybody always wants you to accept stuff, just to read stuff. Okay. They give us some pictures. I don't know what I'm looking at. It says writer Annie Guthrie joins us for our first annual NaPoMo. Enjoy her poem and photos. So we've got a picture of a step, an elderly man who looks like he's Asian, a little girl with pigtails, and you're looking at the top of her head. Then it says underneath that picture of the little girl with pigtails, it says, make a box, a social, judicial, legislative, executive box, a thought box. What kind of time does it keep? Body box time, you feel. Yes, what did the mothers do? I always study yourself. You are the box. Make you the box fist. I'm going to punch me first. I'm going to wall my own wall with a wall box, exclamation point. Make it box, make it do. What kind of keeping does it do? Heritage box, lineage box, legacy box. Are you the arson who traces my first, no, excuse me. Are you the archon, I don't know what this word means, ARCHON, who traces my fist box punches? Yes, attention is valuable. It's study and humane. That's why you can't find it. It is hoped. Navigational waypoints. Fix. What box? Your own self at box. Fear it, keeper. It do keep. Trespassing the natural. I have not. I had not. I do have. I do not have. I do, I did. I was, I were. Not, I am not. I where I am, I where, I am not where. What box? Stay right there where you are box. I can still put my hands in my pocket. It's no longer in your hands. Wouldn't you wear gloves for that? Yes. Oh my God, I'm dead. Annie Guthrie is a writer and jeweler living in Tucson. She works and teaches at the UA Poetry Center. She has work published in Tarpaulin Sky, Plugshares, Fairy Tale Review, HNGMAN, The Destroyer, Real Poetic, Everyday Genius, Omniverse, The Volta, Spear Orb and more. Share this. I'm not sharing this with anybody because I don't even know what the hell I just read. What the fuck did I just read? Nothing is new said. Annie's portrait isn't so good, baby. I'm not trying to be funny, but that's a white girl's terminology. Not so good. Not so good. Damn. Queen is giving us Dr. Maya Angelou tonight. Honey, this ain't no Maya Angelou. I don't know what the hell I just read to y'all. Hey, I was starting to get tongue twisted with all these damn boxes. The hell is she talking about? Something wrong with her. I can still put my hands in my pocket. It's no longer in your hands. Wouldn't you wear gloves for that? Yes. That was the end of that poem. Sister. You were boxing walls, Queen. Nothing says it made no sense. Laugh out loud. That was 2012. Let's go to AOL.com. You know, once your name comes out in anything public, people start writing stuff and it don't stop. They said she's made a decision to restrict public access to her family photos as the search for answers stretched past a week. She removed from public view many of the photos of her husband, Tommaso Cioni, and her family from her Facebook page. One photo of Cioni is still visible on her page. It shows, wait a minute. Hold on. It shows him outdoors in the snow. A post gushing about Cioni is no longer visible on her page. However, it's not clear whether Annie, a poet, deleted or privatized the photos, which were visible for days after her mom's mysterious disappearance. A highlight reel is still visible on Annie's page, contains one photo of Cioni, but a series of other pictures is no longer visible. Meanwhile, authorities showed renewed interest in the home of Annie, poet, author, that she shares with teacher, poet, husband, Cioni. And that's something else we need to talk about. As they're saying, she may desire, privacy for her family due to the extensive media attention, focus on the case. In fact, authorities made it clear February 9th, announcing that they don't have any new development to report in the bizarre disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. So on and so forth. I get it. When Banfield put out that source that he was a prime suspect or possible, I could see they would get in their feelings. Most of us would. So that's why they were ducking down in the car the week of the 4th. She had the pink hoodie on and he had the shades on. But I still would say, fuck it, that's my mama. I'm not hiding from anybody. Now, he could go hide because he's upset that people think he's done something to Nancy. But now they're not staying at the house. Two guys, a white guy and a black guy, went into their house with bags and gloves. I guess it was yesterday, getting stuff out their house, mail from the mailbox. They don't want to come back, naturally, because of all the media attention and the searches of the house and taking pictures. But that's what they're supposed to do. Because if you say Nancy was there, that's their job, to go in the house, look around, take pictures, search your car, search her car. My thing is, all this should have been done days ago when Nancy first went missing. That's my opinion. No way you should be doing this 1 week, 1 week and a half in. No, all this should have been done Sunday and on from there. Season of cars, should have been done all this. What I wanted to say is about his job. He's a school teacher. I'm wondering how this is working for him because he's working with children. So has anyone gone to the school district to say they are concerned about their children? Okay, let's talk about that. He's a school teacher. This could affect his job. People thinking he's a kidnapper, murderer. So this is why I always tell you, you have to be careful passing stories, rumors that somebody's done something when you don't have proof, because it can affect their livelihood. And you got to remember, some of you been putting out rumors that they stay with Nancy, they got a new house, Pookie Ray Ray bought the house. Okay, well, guess what? You ain't got no job. You can't pay for no house. So what if he gets let go from his job? Now, where is he and Annie gonna stay? Oh, we got to go to Savannah and ask her for some money. For all we know, Savannah bought the house, put money down on the house. I don't know where this is going. It's a hot butter mess, all I can say. And I don't think nobody is thinking about any of these people in case they are innocent. You are ruining their lives by thinking they've done something. And then Savannah, she's got to sit in the midst of this. This one guy who's on Megyn Kelly's podcast, he was talking about that. What was it, yesterday or the day before? Imagine what Savannah is thinking about the rumors, speculations, theories, and she's sitting with these people. You think she didn't feel uncomfortable when Banfield put that out? Banfield, you shouldn't have put that out. I would have put that out about Annie's husband. You should have put that out. You should have waited. Should have put that out. Because imagine if it's not true. It could cost him his job, ill feelings between Savannah and her sister and him, because there's no way Savannah is not thinking about what Banfield said. You would be a fool not to think. Would he have done something to my mother? Why would he do something to my mother? This is some awkward SHIT. I wouldn't want to be in any of their shoes. I wouldn't want to be in Nancy's shoes. I don't want to be in Savannah's shoes. And I don't want to be in Annie and Tommaso's shoes. I'm just keeping it real. I wouldn't want to be none of these people. Because in the end, they are people. They have a right to privacy. They have a right to live. Everybody's engrossed in the story. We're coming 2 weeks now on this story. It's a hot butter mess with this sheriff, people talking about him, people judging him for going to the basketball game. It's like always. People don't stop living because somebody's missing or somebody's dead. You know that. Somebody could bury their mama today and be at the ice cream shop on Sunday. Just the way it is. Don't mean it's right. You entitled to your interpretation. What you think's right, what look good, don't look good. The sheriff probably said, hell, I'm going to this basketball game. I got to get out the house. I got to go do something. I can't just sit in the house. I had a life before Nancy went missing. It's not my mama, not being rude, but he supporting the school. Some could say, well, he's supporting the school. I don't know. Hopefully, okay. Julia says, hopefully they have him on paid leave until he is cleared. Okay, I'm going to put a poll up about that. They will be looking at every poem she wrote. What did you say? Looking for the word mom, mother. Yeah, well, that mom, mother was in there. Queen said, tongue twisted. I spit out my that was I can't remember what I was saying. Somebody said Annie was going through it in 2012. You all are horrible. I have the craziest people that come in my chats. She was going through it. White girl was having problems, huh? I don't know. He's probably innocent, so it is very tragic. Yes, I lost some respect for Banfield. She ran that way too early. Yes, the sun will come out tomorrow. It always does. Because this has happened. We, as people, have prejudged the situations, such as this. This is a prime example. Going to give you a case where I know people thought the husband did something to the wife. The black man in Chicago recently whose white wife went missing. And I know people were probably judging, ooh, he killed his wife, he killed her. He goes on the news, he's telling you, hey, had some issues, but I don't know what happened. Later you find out that lady had mental issues. She was supposed to be going to see a therapist. I think the same day or the day before. Instead, she went to the damn lake and jumped in. No murder. No murder. It's found floating in Lake Michigan. They got her on camera walking across the 35th Street Bridge or whatever, going over there. to the lake. Lord have mercy. Sometimes it's not the husband, it's not the wife, it's not family. It's a random bloke out here. And I'm hoping it is a random person, because it makes it worse if it's a family member, if it's a Uber driver that picked her up, or DoorDash. And I thought about that with Carlos. You remember when he got pulled over the other day? He was in traffic with the wife and the children. Could it be that he was over there too, doing DoorDash with the wife and the kids? Ugh, looking around, looking for a target. Ugh, creepy. Of course, they said so far, he's not involved, or they let him go. I don't know, but he's working during the week doing deliveries. Don't remember going to Nancy's house. And then the girlfriend does DoorDash. Perfect job to be scouting houses. I'm just saying. Both jobs are good for scouting houses. You go into nice neighborhoods, you're looking at the cars parked in the driveway. God forbid you get a peek behind the door when they open the door. You can learn a lot when a person opens the door. If it's clean, if it smells good, if it looks like they got nice furniture. God forbid they tell you to step in, which is a no-no. Linda Brown, Linda and Antoine. Yep, Cal, I sure do. And stop stalking my page, Cal. You're boring me. We know that's an alias. Yeah. Yeah, I think she killed herself. Nothing. I think she jumped. They said she was having a mental breakdown because she had taken time off from work. And she was going back to work or something like that. Oh, honey, I don't know who this Kyle Huff is. He loves coming into the stream. It's either a Kyle Huff or a Vincent who loves to come in and tell the queen about herself. They obviously don't have a job or nothing better to do with their time. Let's see, it's almost 6 o'clock, 20 till 6. You must just got off from work. You got a notification I was live. And when they call you queen, you know they're watching content, because nobody knows I'm queen unless they watch the channel. You talk too much. I know, I got it from your mama. I got it from your mama, Cal. Vincent. Y'all like changing your names. Maybe you're the one that's been sending the ransom notes to TMZ, because you like changing your name all the time, which means you're going into Google to change your name. So maybe you're the one sending the messages to TMZ and the sheriff's department. Attention, attention. Check out Kyle Huff. FBI. Please check out Kyle Huff's Facebook page. He likes stalking YouTubers. Well, it's people like that who you have to watch out, because if you do this in the AM with your time, who knows what you're doing dark 30. Riding around in your car and vans, looking for windows to peep in. Isn't that right, Kyle? Maybe you'd like us to meet in person and you can tell the queen how you really feel. You want to set a date? We can set a date. We can end all this nonsense. Would you like to come to East Tennessee? I'll tell you where to meet me. Since you're so disgusted with my content, coming in the live to tell me about myself. I'm talking about a woman who's possibly dead. And what did you tell me the other day? Queen has no right to judge. Oh, so now he wants to tell me not to talk about a woman who's possibly murdered. I have no right to judge. Who am I to judge? Who are you to keep coming in my chat, disturbing the peace? Oh, they're always haters, honey. It could be other YouTubers with, 6, 12 burner phones, don't got nothing better to do. Could be Sebastian's stepfather. He like playing in people's chats with, anonymous names. Yes, sick people like that don't have anything better to do. And those would be the people who do this, people who have been involved in true crime. They've been accused of unaliving someone, and then they just go get them a little burner phone and keep changing their names, changing the, whatever. Because Kyle, I think you've done it quite a bit. You know why I know? Because I keep blocking you and you keep coming back in with a different type of Kyle Huff. So is that Kyle Huffman or Kyle Huff? Because my friends, they will go to Facebook and try to find you. And if you keep on, I'll call the FBI. I'll call TBI and say, I have a stalker and he keeps coming in my chat for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe you like the email address. I think that's what you really want. You want to try to find me? I live in Knoxville. Everybody knows who Queen is. I'm not hard to find. We can settle the score and be done with it. Because I don't think you'll bust a grape. I think you're a little itty bitty spider that don't got nothing going for himself. Probably not very attractive looking. Spends his time trolling articles and X and YouTube because you're not a happy person. I know you're not happy, baby. Because for you to troll this chat, you'd have to be one miserable motherfucker. Okay, I just don't have anyone to talk to about this case with, so I love your channel. Thank you so much. Oh, honey, I'm fine. I have to give it to him. Because that's what he wants. That's why he comes in the chat. Sometimes I ignore him. But today, I'll give him about 3 or 4 minutes of my time. Call me on IG so I can take it to the TBI. I don't mind, honey. I don't mind calling the damn FBI. Make my day. I will call with the quickness. Did you hear what I said? You won't be keyboarding nobody else's damn chat. I tell you that. Maybe I should call TBI. I should say, I think this guy, he might be the guy that's asking for the ransom in the Nancy Guthrie case. He keeps coming in my chat. See, I know how to put a rabies dog down. Try me. Just try me. Keep coming in the chat, and I'll make the phone call. See, some people, what's the old saying? You have to show them better than telling them. That's the latest, everybody. I'd like an ending to this case. I really would. So how do you all feel about the video being released? I'm almost 2 hours into this live. How do you all feel about the video being released of the perpetrator at the door? It seemed very active, then kind of went nowhere. What was active? So she's got some poems published in different places. A lot of people talking Reddit. See, it's not telling me who wrote this poem. I was trying to see some more poems written by her. Bonnie says, I think it could help the investigation. Oh, the case was active. Okay. Well, I think it's going pretty well. You don't think it's going well? Why not? I think it's going pretty good, considering we've got video, and they probably have more video they haven't shown us because it's probably not good. Because you got to remember, when you pop those cameras off, they still could be recording. So you probably have this nut talking to himself, whatever. God forbid, interacting with Nancy. And that would be horrifying. And I don't think we're ready for that. Everybody's wondering why they keep going to Annie's house. Part of the job. And they keep talking about that video. But that guy with that backpack on and that video that was released, he's got his face showing. So if he's trying to rob somebody, he doesn't have a ski mask on. I don't know what's going on. Once again, everybody, for those of you who used to watch Dawson's Creek, James Vanderbeek has passed away at the age of 48. Yes. I don't know where this is going, quite frankly. Who is he? Let me see what this guy has to say here. Body language. Honestly, the video made me feel really sad for Nancy. It's just so scary. They have a lot of tips to comb through, but somebody could have seen something whether they know it or not. Exactly, Bonnie. Well, nothing is new. You can reach me on IG, big.sexy.71. You can ring me up. You can talk to me all day long about it until I fall asleep. You can come on the show. I can, stream from one device and let you talk on the other device if I don't drop the StreamYard, and you can tell me how you feel. Because I don't like talking all the time. I like to hear other people's opinions and they tell me what they think. A lot of you, y'all act like y'all scared to hit that link. Trust me, I don't bite. Oh yeah, I like this guy here, Scott Roos.
Questions and answers. I just finished the news history.
Sometimes.
We talk about everything from how smart this guy is and how smart he isn't. Now, what do you think the behavior cues in this video tell us? They tell us how smart he is. They tell us how smart he isn't. Personally,
Is he gonna play music the whole time?
The way they move. What does that all tell us? Because it's all captured on tape. What does that reveal about who they are, how this crime may have been planned? That is where I bring in my two guests, okay? Scott Rouse has trained alongside the FBI,
thank you, Bonnie.
Secret Service, and U.S. military intelligence.
Hit me up on IG, honey.
And Steve Wolf is a firearms expert, engineer, expert witness. Thank you both so much for coming on. Scott, I'll start with
If you want to contact me directly, big.sexy.71. And I guess a hater will probably try to fall in too. Big.sexy.71. That's my handle on Instagram. Hit me up.
when you watch this video, what stands out to you about the person's behavior and body language?
what I'm looking for in a situation like this are things that are missing. So the first thing I ask myself is what's missing. When we see him walk up, he walks up slow. So his gait is very small. It's a medium to small gate. This lets us know there's no stress. He's not in a hurry. And his head goes down after the camera comes on, he gets the torch, that head goes down. But that's not turtling. We turtle when we're afraid of something. We're getting ready to shoplift, we're hiding in the crowd, something like that. Our head comes down, our shoulders come up, something that's called turtling because our brain says, we need to hide, we need to get ourselves involved in this. I think he ducks his head because he's afraid he's going to be recognized by the camera. Now, even though normal robbers don't have that fear of being recognized, for some reason this guy's trying to hide his face as well with that thing. Then, this is a guy, this is a man. How do we know that? Because the way he walks, the way he moves around. Women don't move like that. No, they don't. Are threat checks. He's not doing threat checks. He's not looking around for trouble. He's not looking for passing cars.
Now, some of you commented under different podcasts that you thought it was a woman. Oh, Lord. See, I think it's a guy. I've had a few little experts in the law field. I've listened to them on podcasts. They think it's a guy built like a guy. I don't know. So what are you saying? It's a smaller person with a bunch of clothes on? Seems like that would be so uncomfortable. Warm climate, putting on all these clothes, extra gloves to go do what exactly? Just saying.
Dog walkers, he doesn't look for threats outside.
Nothing says much male to me.
The only time he looks for a threat is when he steps down and picks up those flowers or weeds or whatever they are, and he steps up to put them over the camera. Which brings us to how smart he is. Because he's not a problem solver. If he thought ahead of time, he would have thought there might be a camera there, or he may have known there was a camera there. I need to bring a piece of duct tape to stick over that. So he didn't think ahead. So I'm under the impression he didn't think ahead about some other little things ahead of time that he didn't solve those problems. So there's probably a lot of stuff he left behind there as well.
Yeah.
Plus the fact the backpack is full. That thing is full. So that could be a tarp, it could be extra clothes, something he could change clothes when he gets in, so it doesn't look like the same person came as the same person leaving. There could be duct tape.
His belly? Okay.
And since he's alone,
I thought he might just have weight.
Because he doesn't
on.
Check anybody, he doesn't nod or wave his hand at anybody out in the driveway or the yard or anything or out in the street. He's going to have something.
Okay, while he's assessing this, for all of you who are watching, did he know the camera was there? Had he been to the house before? Did he know the camera was there? Those will be polls I'm going to put up on my community page after the live. Did the perpetrator go to this house before? Been to this house before? Delivered food packages before? Walked up to the house, just drove in the neighborhood and picked the house to look around. Had the perpetrator been to Nancy's house before? Julia says, I think he knew but forgot. Huh? To me, I'm not sure because he seemed like he would have taken care before. Right. You're getting ready. Okay, think about what we're saying. He takes a GUN, but he doesn't take spray paint or tape to put over the cameras. You should have that even if you just chose a house that day or you chose the house 2, 3, 4 days ago. Let's just say he's riding through the neighborhood. He's never walked up to the door. You went and got a GUN. You got a mask on, you got gloves on, and you don't think to have spray paint or tape to cover the camera? Come on. He didn't think about the details. He's a criminal and an idiot. You're so funny. The times are also not told on the camera. Well, my understanding is it's 2:12. 2:12 a.m. is when he made contact with the camera. Not 1:47.
Person in. I'll phrase it that way. It's one thing if you throw somebody over your shoulder and you walk them out to the car.
Let's see, they're arguing about that.
Their arms out the car, but if you can wrap them in something.
Where is it that y'all don't see that?
A huge blanket, that looks different. You're pulling something to the car.
When he first walked up the walk.
That's so interesting.
You can't tell. He has a backpack on.
Planning, knowledge. Steve, I'll go to you. You noticed something unusual, right, about the way that this guy was carrying the gun in the holster. What is it?
Yeah, what I noticed is that he's carrying a holster
which is designed to accommodate a large revolver, which some of you may have recognized from previous appearances here. And what he's got in there is what looks to be a small semi-automatic. And so if you look at this, is pretty much exactly what the shot looks like when we're looking at the security footage there. Holsters are designed to hold guns securely. This is not made for this, and therefore it would fall right out. And therefore that leads me to think.
So is this true? He put a smaller weapon in a holster. Make that make sense. Are we talking about a person who's been running around Arizona stealing from people? That's what I was thinking about the backpack. He's already been to somebody else's house and robbed them. And he's just on his run. You know what I mean? Adrenaline. Got to get to the next house. You know, for all we know, he had a list of houses. I'll go in here, go to this house over here. Could that be it? That's what was in the backpack? Stuff that belonged to somebody else's house. I don't know. I feel like if it was a big professional thing, then he would have planned better for cameras. So it tells me that he is a newbie. Well, remember what you're saying now. You have to have a start. So what did I say earlier? He's free. Let's pray we don't hear a repeat. I already read about 2 white boys over there in Scottsdale going in some people home invasion. They've got arrested. And something about some cryptocurrency nonsense. So let's pray. Let's pray he's scared to make a move. He's scared that he don't know if the FBI are tailing him or not. Because what he has to tell himself is, okay, they got me on that damn video camera, and anybody can make out my eyes that knows me. And sadly, somebody has seen that video, and they're sitting beside him, sleeping with him, probably scared shitless, don't want to call. I think back to this story I saw on A&E years ago. You probably remember it. There was a guy running around, I believe it was St. Louis, killing prostitutes. Okay? And this lady is sitting in her living room with her boyfriend when the news comes on about the rapes and the perpetrator. And there's a description, I believe, of him on the screen. And she's sitting there playing crazy. Like, but she ain't letting him know that looks like you up there on that TV screen. That's scary as hell. Do you think it's possible he went in for a break-in and saw pictures of Savannah and realized it was a famous house and took her with him? But you have a mask on. But I hear what you're saying. Get some ransom money. I don't think this person is smart enough for the Bitcoin. We've already established that this is possibly fraud by some foreigners, because in one of the letters they asked for USD, and Americans don't talk like that. We don't specify USD because we know we're in America. We know we're using US currency. This is possibly a foreigner trying to get money. So I don't think those letters have anything to do with Nancy. Because one, you haven't shown proof of life. That's first and foremost. You want $4 million, $6 million, and all she asked was, hey, can you show us some pictures? Can you show us videos? And you can't even do that. Come on. Yeah. We're just going to say, I want $4 million. I'm not going to say I want 4 million in USD. That only foreigners talk like that. That's how they talk in the UK. When they're comparing the monies, they'll say USD to show you, oh, this is what it would cost in America. Let's say you're talking about houses. You'd say in US currency, it'll be this amount. And then over here, it'll be this amount. These are some foreigners, honey. And TMZ they're so ignorant, they just keep running to the news, spreading this nonsense, and there's a whole human missing. And they're aiding these crooks. You've given them a platform. For all we know, this is some 19-year-old Nigerian sitting in a damn Wi-Fi cafe trying to get some money. Because a lot of the scammers, ding, 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 they are young people. What scammer, what person would want money and say to themselves, I'm going to call TMZ. That's probably some young person doing this. Yeah, Nigerian, Chinese, Russian, whatever. They're probably 20-something years old. Probably not even 40 years old. Somebody trying to get some money to get out their damn country. Get a better life.
Think that this is not someone who's accustomed to carrying a firearm. The gun and the holster don't match.
Hold on.
And furthermore, he continues to touch the gun
Sorry,
with his left
I got a
hand.
notification.
People who carry guns for a living or for personal protection routinely know exactly where their gun is. It's secure in the holster, and they don't feel the need to continually touch it to make sure that it's there. So this is
Their house being searched. Yeah, we know that already.
very non-professional behavior with the firearm. And just a quick follow-up on that. How quickly would he be able to retrieve it easily? Let's say, for example, if Nancy came to the door.
Hi, how are you? 3807. Welcome to the Vault XL. Oh, these commercials, they'll wear you out. Probably is a foreigner.
Retrieve it very quickly if in fact it's a real gun. The way he's wearing it right in front like that, you couldn't drive a car like that. Nobody carries a gun right in front of their crotch like that. You carry a gun, on your strong side hip.
He's a young person. That's a young person.
It looks like it's there for intimidation, for show.
That's a young person.
Not necessarily something that he intended to use. Scott, back to you. Two things. One, your thoughts on the gloves. I know you had a thought about the gloves. And two, does it seem to you, after everything we're saying, this is not somebody who's a career criminal or professional, that there's a sloppy aspect to this?
Yeah, because let's go to that holster again, like what Steve's talking about. You can't drive with that. You can't run with that. You can't fight with it like that. You can't draw proficiently like that. You get out fairly quickly, but you can't. People, usually gun enthusiasts, they don't have that happening, And if we look at his blink rate, on this we can see his blink rate when he gets close to the camera because those bright lights in his eyes are his pupils. That's the light from the camera reflecting off his pupils. There's not a lot of blinking going on. This guy's super relaxed. There's no stress here.
So let's think about this for a minute. Hello, 3807. You have a mask, gloves, backpack full, whatever that means, flashlight in your mouth, but you don't think to bring tape, spray paint to disguise the cameras. Help me understand. Then you're holding a gun that's in a holster that's not the right size, so the weapon is allegedly too small for the holster. They think this is a newbie criminal, probably somebody desperate for money, not experienced in home invasions, robbing people. But the sad part of the story is, no matter how you look at the video, Nancy is missing. And I'm gonna be frank with you, I'm tired of looking at that video. I don't want to keep looking at it. Every time I turn on an update about it, I've got to keep looking at the video. I don't want to look at that because that's a visual. It's one thing for you to say to yourself, okay, she's missing. Somebody broke in her house. Where did they break in? Which door? Which window? I get to see it now. It's not the same. I get to see some punk go up and play around with the flower beds, trying to disguise the camera. Then it goes blank. And I got a feeling they have more footage because he's carrying that camera with him. So you're probably hearing him walk through Nancy's house looking for her. God forbid, you're hearing the interaction between he and Nancy. That would be scary as fuck. Her waking up or him waking her up. Get up, get up. Where's the money? What, yeah. And she's, who are you? What are you doing here? Who wants to hear that? But the flip side would be, they'll then have his voice recorded. So that would be good for the FBI if they have a recording of him waking her up.
That's concerning. I don't think we're looking at a psychopath from the neurological standpoint, but the stress in a situation that should be stressful is very low. He's not worried about anything, which gives me the impression he's got information about that place or that situation, or something has been planned to make sure. He's not worried. He's not worried. He doesn't look worried about anything to me.
See, I hate to hear that.
It looks a lot like the drunk driver in the crash. Right. Who's not nervous, right? And it's not uncommon when people are going to do something that is fundamentally dangerous.
Let me ask you something. How do you feel knowing there are data brokers out there?
So his opinion is that the person is comfortable and possibly got knowledge about this house. Weigh in. He was sent there to hurt Nancy Guthrie. He peeped the house out to rob her. He's been to the house before. Can't be but one or the other. This is bad. This is so bad.
So the FBI is searching again and so the FBI is searching.
So that was Brian Enton. I was trying to find something recent. I'm so over this TMZ. I just hate repeating anything about them. That tent, they've taken the tent down. If you're curious. Do you think this was a kidnapping? Or this was a home invasion? I think something happened. Let me tell you something. If it's not personal, nobody was hired to go in there and hurt her and take her out and dispose of her. Something sexual could have happened. Because every perpetrator maneuvers differently, whether they're a newbie or not. Some will eat out the refrigerator. Some will use the bathroom. Some will lay on their furniture, their bed. Some will sexually assault the occupants. Some will take them out. The only reason to take you out is because you have left DNA in that damn place, preferably the victim. You're just going in to steal stuff. You don't have no business taking Nancy out of there. This is where I am confused. Prove to me it's somebody in the family. Because if somebody sent somebody, who is this person? Who sent them and who is he? Where is he? Arizona, California, Nevada, where? Because he's watching all of this information. He's watching the videos, he's watching the news, he's watching all of this. He's listening to all the critique and the negative comments. Oh, you know he's in his feelings. He's in his feelings, honey. Oh, they're talking about me. I'm inexperienced, but I'm here. I'm free. I'm free like OJ all day. Y'all haven't found me. He's gloating. Whatever the motive was. Do you all believe in the tarot card readings? Do you believe in that? Psychics? Somebody commented, maybe they should call us psychic. Somebody commented on one of my videos. Maybe they should. Happy heavenly birthday to D'Angelo. God rest his soul. Let's hear from Fox News because they've been on it too. Once again, they put up a tent to do some type of forensic work. The tent is down.
A perpetrator's fleeing the scene. They may be geared up and gloved up and masked up when they're at the location, but once they flee the location, they may start to discard things out the window of the vehicle,
Exactly.
such as rubber gloves. And those are the kind of things that law enforcement is probably looking for on the side of the road.
And the recovery of the black glove could be a key piece of evidence in the search for Nancy Guthrie. Right now, investigators have just set up a tent on the front door of Nancy's home. Jason Pax, the former FBI agent and hostage negotiator, first on the glove, the significance?
Well, Dana, it's hard to say. If it is significant, then you saw the evidence.
Why is she missing, Julia? Why is she missing? Why do you think she's missing? So, pow, 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 get your butt on out of there. What do you need to take her out for? This may be a sexual assault, I'm trying to tell you. They can't prove this was a hired person to get rid of this lady. Something else went on in that house, honey. I'm trying to tell you.
Evidence response team from the Phoenix Division recovered that yesterday. They've already sent that off. They're testing it. And what that'll actually allow them to do is start a new canvas point. So now, at that mile and a half away where these gloves were found, they're going to start a whole new investigation of digital canvas, video canvas. They're going to go door to door and look and see if there are any other data points that they can discover to kind of help put some context with these gloves.
How would they be able, based on your experience, would they be able to tell if what they can see in the video matches that glove?
I think that's a little hard to do because they're so common. These nitrile gloves are pretty common around there. And there may be ways to do it if they're able to. The forensic unit is able to zoom in and see if there are any exclusive marks.
How are these gloves natural? I don't have any of them. I have little bitty latex gloves. I do not have those black gloves. So why would those gloves be natural in Arizona? Please explain that to me. This man don't know what the hell he's saying. Oh, those are natural. Get your cactus and use some black gloves. The hell is he saying? There is nothing natural about those damn gloves. Those are the type of gloves that Brian Korberger had. So there is nothing natural about living in the desert and having these type of gloves. You are into gardening, you would have gardening gloves. Help me understand. The hell is he talking about?
Or something like that they can match those gloves if it had a tear or some kind of puncture that we can't see. If they have better video than they've released, we just don't know, but it's possible, but it can be difficult.
We also don't have a lot of information
I saw a
about
little
why
hole
the
in
tent
one of
just
them.
went up in the last couple of hours. It was right out front of her door. This is the 12th day of the investigation. What might be happening?
Well, in every investigation, when you get either a tip or you get a return from the search warrant, this CAST team, the cellular analysis team that looks at the phone and digital data, there are micro dots that they can plot if any devices that have come through there. So that's probably why you also saw Alicia Acuna reported last hour about the agents out there at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. This is a 24/7 op. So there may be pieces of digital data that's leading them to go look for these particular items. Maybe it's something they dropped, maybe it's something that pinged, but they're using intelligence to drive their investigations on these things.
I want to put up for everybody here the timeline of this investigation, starting with Nancy Guthrie going missing on Saturday, January 31st at 9:48 p.m. where she was dropped off, and then somewhere
they're greedy, honey. It's called greed.
The next day at noon is when her friends, who she was going to gather with to watch a church service, said there might be something going on here. Where is she? You have told our producers that you believe this timeline is the backbone of the entire investigation. Can you explain?
Yes, Dana, most of these cases are solved through that timeline. And when you put up a timeline, you're able to put a definite piece of information up. And you go back and you, against that timeline, you compare what people are telling you. You compare their alibis. You put the digital evidence, you put the forensic evidence on this timeline, and you're able to prove what people say. So you'll get a statement from someone that you interview saying, yes, I was here, no, I was not here. Then you get their information from their device. You see if they were telling you the truth or not, and you plot that. So when you go back to the timeline, we work on, or the FBI works on 100%. So when you go back to that timeline and you say, hey, the software detects a person on the camera on February 1st, how do you know that? Well, I have a piece of forensic evidence that proves that. So you're able to prove everything on that timeline. Wow. Another important point about this timeline, this is the public timeline that we know about. There's probably a more comprehensive timeline in the FBI's command post there at the Tucson resident agency that they have that we don't. So hopefully,
I don't think he would know who she is. I think he's a young person, Princess. I do. I think he's a young person. I don't even think he would know who.
And then you might be able to also
Savannah
have a third
is.
level of the timeline as you have the digital forensics that come in, and you can plot those points.
Yes, exactly. So you'll get a return from a search warrant or a court order or whatever the process they use to get this information. It'll have a timestamp on it. You have to adjust it for the time where you are and make sure the machines were set to the correct time to begin with. So it's highly technical, but doing that, you're able to put that piece of definite information on that timeline and then compare it to what people are telling you in the interviews. So it's a great way to compare and contrast what people are saying and to verify the veracity of their statements.
Last question, would you expect if there is a ransom to be paid, or if there is a way to find out if she is proving some signs of life, would we get that today in the 12th day of the investigation?
Hell no.
Well, I think that's the key piece of information that people are hoping to get, particularly if the kidnappers have her. They've not been able to prove that. So that's an avenue that they haven't forgotten, but they're also concentrating on the actual piece of evidence that they do have, which is this photograph, these videos of the person that actually came to the house. So I think that is the key piece of information which investigators and agents are acting upon right now.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily.
Fox News is the source. Before I leave, so I've been on here a while, 2 hours and 22 minutes. I don't think the ransom notes, letters have anything to do with her disappearance. I think they're two separate situations. I don't know how many people have sent letters to TMZ and the news stations. I don't really care because it's all bogus to me. I'm concerned with who went in her home, why they went in there, and where she is and can be located, alive or deceased. I just don't think it's a ransom. I listened to Carlos' mother-in-law speak the other night. She didn't even know who Nancy Guthrie is. And as she said out her own mouth, I didn't know who she is, so I wasn't concerned, right? So she ain't concerned. Carlos ain't concerned. Pookie Ray Ray ain't concerned. Ain't nobody concerned, even though y'all live in Arizona. You got a whole human missing, but because you don't know her, you ain't concerned. Because that's what's wrong with people. People walk around here, they don't give a fuck about nothing. I don't know her, don't concern me. You know, I had a male friend, he was like that. If he didn't know you, it wasn't, the story ain't about his relative, he didn't care. Half a block could burn down. He said it, I don't care, it don't concern me, I don't know him. So that's how that older woman felt. And for all we know, this perpetrator, he didn't know her. He don't care either. A lot of people walking around, they don't care about what's going on in their town. You know how many people I talk to out here, they don't know what the hell is going on in Knoxville. So they definitely don't know what's going on down in Middle Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee. And you're like, oh, but it's been on the news. I don't know, I ain't heard. Because we have people who are not in tune. All they care about is Netflix, sports, stuff going on in their own family and Facebook. That's all people care about. And I'm saying this guy probably don't care either if he don't know her. He's not watching the news. He's not watching nothing but probably YouTube, TMZ. No sane person trying to milk money out of a human is going to go to TMZ or a news station. Then there's a reward. So if you know who the killer is, call the FBI. That's why the FBI and the sheriff are telling me we're not going to do no updates. We're not going to talk about nothing until we got information to bring to you. You got a tip, call the tip line, call the sheriff, call the FBI. You know who the killer is, an abductor? Call. Give your name, get the money. This person calling saying they know who the abductor or what happened to her, I don't want to hear no more about it. I'm sick of Harvey. Harvey, please stop talking. You're making me sick. Here you come today with, oh, the information is chilling. Give me a break. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to add polls on your community page. I won't forget. But I'm just saying, this is stupid. And Harvey, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I'm going to say it to you, honey. Angela says you need to stop talking. You need to stop bringing us the updates about these emails because they're not going anywhere. Haven't you figured out? You've been dicked, sir. Excuse my language. You've been dicked. They're dicking you around with these emails. These are some hungry people trying to get free money from a very wealthy white woman who obviously has sense enough not to pay. Thank you, Savannah. Because like they have been saying, she gives you the 4 million, 6 million. Well, what does she get in return? Nothing. That account's going to be shut down. You're not going to get another letter to TMZ, Pookieville, nowhere. And she realizes that. That's why Savannah has not put any money into the Bitcoin wallet. The FBI put $151 in her, allegedly. So far, when I last checked before I went live, it had not been touched. Now, the new scam is $66,000. So we've gone from 4 million, 6 million to 66,000. And I'm afraid for my safety, and I don't want to be retaliated against. Now that sounds like somebody's scared. But you were a big bad bully last week. No negotiations. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk to anybody. You mean you don't want to talk to the cash cow? Savannah's the one with the money, but you don't want to talk to her. Oh, what was the notice yesterday or the day before? They wanted to talk to Annie and her husband. See, this is some bullshit. So we had a crook in LA that got arrested for contacting Annie and Tommaso. Fast forward a week and a half later, same thing. And that guy probably still locked up if he ain't made bail in LA. Now this person wants to talk to Annie and Tommaso. Why? For what? You feeding off the gossip and he said, she said? Make it make sense. Why are these people wanting to talk to Annie and Tommaso when Savannah is the one with the money? It's all convoluted, as somebody once said in the chat. You don't know which direction to go in with this case. That's why I don't even want to say who I think did anything, because I am baffled, befuddled. I don't know what the hell is going on. I know there's a scam going on that I'm going to bet on. Someone is trying to scam Savannah. Hello, Trinace. How you doing, sweetie? But other than that, I don't know who did it and why. But I do not believe Nancy is alive. Because as most of you are saying, she's basically dead weight. Nobody is getting ready to be trying to covet this lady, hide her out, feed her, make it make sense. You want to get in, get your money, get out. Drop the lady off, keep it moving. Nobody has shown any proof of life. Why not? Because Nancy has been gone. Hey, Camille, how you doing, sweetie? Nancy has been gone. And sadly, we have very gullible people out here who believe everything they hear. They believe in this TMZ nonsense. Nancy was gone probably before she got over the threshold of her own address. That's why there was blood inside and blood outside. The person who took her life did not care. They don't care. They don't care about themselves. They didn't have no problem snuffing out an 84-year-old woman. And as I said earlier in this live, if it was not Nancy, it was going to be somebody else. This is why I keep trying to tell you people out here who are homeowners, baby, you better tighten your shit at your address. Do not think this cannot happen to you. People are desperate. People are broke. People need money. People are on drugs. They will slit your throat and keep on moving. Don't ever think it can't be you. It can be you. You don't take care of yourself and your house, it will be you. This is probably some random punk desperate for money. Damn coke head, bass head. Riding around looking for a victim. And I'm telling you, who better to ride around than a person that rides around? So we may be looking at Uber driver, DoorDash, dinner delivered, the people that shop for Walmart, all that type of stuff. That might be who has done this. Somebody who goes to your house to take you groceries, packages, food, because they can study your front porch and everything while they're waiting for you to either come out and pay or they leave the food outside. And God forbid they say, come to the back door. Don't put the food over there. Because when I was working for a company a couple years ago, the older person would tell me, and I used to be scared doing this, but they say, drop the food off in the garage. And I used to be scared because I used to think, oh my God, what if I pull my car up in there and then the garage door shuts? Now I'm stuck in there and they come out with a damn hatchet. So what I would do is I would park my car outside of their garage, because when I would pull up, the garage door would already be open. But that's still dangerous for the person who I was delivering food for, because what if I was a crazy person and I just decided to go walk up the little steps, push the door open, rob them blind, come on out, and they could have cameras, but when people don't care, they will take advantage of the situation. And I'm going to speak personally because I've done both. I've been a rideshare driver. I have delivered food. I don't ever want to do neither one. I don't want to do neither one. I don't want no stranger in my car. I don't want to sit outside your house, your apartment, waiting on you in the fucking dark. And I don't want to walk up to your house in the dark, pit bulls running out the door. You're telling me, oh, he won't bite. Fuck that. We take a lot for granted. Let me tell you something, honey. Queen was riding around in places black folks weren't even supposed to be carrying their ass, and I'm just keeping it real. I ain't seen no black person one time. Went to this lady's house to take her boxes of cigarettes, cartons of cigarettes. And I looked at her when she opened the door and I was like, And she looked at me, very nice. I said, oh my gosh. I said, I didn't know any black people live back here. And she says, yes, I moved here from Washington State. I was like, oh, okay, how you liking it? You know, we made light conversation. But all my routes back off of the highway, back up and through there, honey, it was mainly white people. So I had never seen no black people back up in the parts. The point I'm making is dangerous. Dangerous. Especially when I went to one trailer. There wasn't even a road sign. And they swear for God, yes, ma'am, there's a sign out there. I said, where? In the dark? I didn't see it. Because when you're in the county, there are no street lights. So I pull off into this gravel, get out, knock on somebody's door. Do you know how dangerous that is, me getting out of the car to ask somebody, do you know such and such number? Some people could have easily walked me up to their door and beat the fuck out of me, slit my throat, took the free food, moved my car, hid it, put it under the tarp, and nobody would have ever known, except for the company I work for. And then when you're way back there in the woods, you lose a signal. Never again. These are the things you do for money, and you could end up dead. So it's survival of the fittest. Door dashing, Uber driving to make money, you can get yourself killed. You letting every time Dick and Harry get in your car, you can get killed. And you letting people come to your house, dropping off packages, deliveries. You don't know nothing about this person coming to your house, even though they do a background check. But the point is, people still will get out of character. Whether they are the Uber driver, DoorDash driver, person receiving the food, groceries, drinks, whatever, cigarettes. Because you always have to remember, once you are out of sight and you are on someone's private property, God forbid they got acres, you gotta pray you're gonna get your ass out of there. And a lot of these driveways, you can barely turn around to go back out nose first. And those are the ones that scare me. Honey, Queen has lived. You have to be careful out here. Queen, do you think the person enter her place and carry her out like over their shoulder like the fireman carry, and that's why those drops of blood were coming straight down? Could be. But they had to get her out either way. So they carried her by dragging her out, didn't wrap her in anything. Because when I went back and watched another video the other day, I could now see drops on the walkway. Because at first I kept saying, well, where's the blood on the walkway? I did see a big blood spot on the walkway because I kept questioning, like, why is there no blood on the walkway? She was carried out. Yes, we have to stay woke. And the thing that's scary about this case is the obvious. She was minding her business in her house. She wasn't in the street. She wasn't at a bar. She was at her house where she pays bills. And she is now missing. You can't get any scarier than that. You can't trust people, okay? You can't trust people to come work for you. Plumber, electrician, DoorDash, Uber driver. You don't know people because people minds are in rotation when they're in your peripheral and they will try you. And so, see, I don't really know what this mess is about pertaining to Nancy, but it's cold-blooded. And that's why I have a fear of living way out in the middle of nowhere. And, you know, America is filled with rural places. But I personally, I don't want to live way out. I'm not near the gas station a grocery store, Dollar General, something. Because when you live ducked off, you are a walking disaster waiting to happen with your doors closed. And the people, the crooks, they know that. They know how long it's going to take for EMT, sheriff to get to your door. You've heard of the people that say, oh, it takes an hour to get to the doctor's office. Okay, so think about that for a second. It takes an hour to get to the nearest doctor. So that means it's going to take probably that long for EMT, sheriff to get to your door if they kick your door in. So alarm and ring camera don't matter. You way out middle of nowhere and 3 or 4 people decide they want to bust in your damn house. You are shit out of luck. And you ain't got no gun or no shotgun. What you going to do? And I'm not trying to scare anybody, because I know a lot of my fans do live in rural places, but those places scare the hell out of me, because I know that when a person gets ready to get down, you are on your own in your house. You are on your own, honey. What's the purpose? You call it 911. Yes, they're kicking the door in. They're kicking the door in. Okay, we'll be there in 40 minutes. You talking about, well, how long is it going to be before you get here? 40 minutes? 50 minutes? Well, I know that, but we don't live in that type of world, Julia. He proved that. He proved that. And I get it. People will break into your house, whether you're in a condo, a trailer, rural America, the desert. But those places as far out, they scare me. Because I use logic. I know that if I'm 1 hour out from the doctor, Walmart, that's how long it's probably going to take for the sheriff or the ambulance to get to me. That ain't no good. Because you got to use common sense. Let's say the sheriff's office, the nearest sheriff's office from your house is about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You are calling while they're breaking in. She's going to ask you 50,000 fucking questions. Before you even get off the phone, they're probably already in your house, okay? Now they got to send somebody out. You're already dead. They're ransacking your house, might make a sandwich. Leave, sheriff come in, door busted up. They already know it ain't looking good. I ain't trying to scare y'all, but if you can be a licensed carrier, please do. Please do. And I would also lock my door at night. Lock your bedroom door. So at least you can hear somebody fumbling with the door. If you got a weapon, you got time to grab your weapon and let it be loaded. And I understand some of you have children. You don't want to put, nothing loaded under your mattress so your children don't get it, or your nightstand. But honey, that would be my fear. Because as I told you all, I've always had that recurring dream of somebody breaking in my apartment. I've had that dream for 20-something years, 30 years because of an incident that happened in an apartment where I live, where after I moved out, they had broken into the apartment. So over the years, I keep having that same recurring dream. And I just pray that's not a premonition. Do you understand what I'm saying? Even though I feel safe in the building where I am, but the point remains, your mind plays tricks on you when you've had, a crazy type traumatic situation. You're always wondering, is there going to be a day that somebody's really going to try to break in your apartment? And it's just scary. And then being a woman, very scary. And the thing is, people will try you. I know, to each their own, but I am surprised Nancy didn't downsize a long time ago. Where I live, the elderly often downsize when they reach an age where the house becomes too much to maintain. Bonnie says that house is huge. Yeah, because they even had a little outbuilding, which was probably a pool house or guest house. Well, they've been there a long time, Bonnie. From my understanding, the children grew up there. So she was probably going to die there. Do you understand? And I hate to say that I just said that. I think literally she did. She just didn't die naturally. Do you see the irony there? Imagine somebody said that to her, Bonnie. Hey, Mom, you need to go to a assisted living or a community with older people where you can get out and mingle, ride golf carts. No, 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 I don't want that. I don't want nobody right beside me. See, sometimes our Christian people don't think about what the Bible says because it's in the scripture in Psalms. Speak it, and it shall be so. You have to be very careful what you claim. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to die right here. You've heard people say that. I'm going to die right here in this house. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't moving. I ain't going up there to New York with you. I ain't going over here to Toledo, Ohio. I'm going to die right here. Yeah, well, be careful what you claim. Because for all we know, she said that to her children. I don't want to move. This is my house. This is my house. This house is paid for. It's mine. I'll die here. And I believe she did die there. Just not the natural death. And I'm not trying to get biblical with any of you. What I'm trying to tell you is, because I'm speaking from experience, you have to be very careful what you claim on that tongue. Because you can speak yourself into a certain existence. Do you understand? She should have been somewhere else. The fact she could not walk, she should have been somewhere else. She should have had a relative who needed a place to stay that they could trust, and they stayed there with her. They stayed there with her. They did the grocery shopping, errand running, and then, in the evening, weekends, they go do their own private things so they can have a life. But she needed somebody there. There needed to be movement. Because, see, I've been thinking about the who, the why. And what I was telling myself is, let's say this is a random person or somebody who's come to the house, in passing, deliveries, whatever. They know there's no movement there. There's no dogs running in and out. There are no children running in and out, bicycles, mopeds. No teenagers running about, running in and out, sitting outside, doing what teenagers do. No driveway full of cars. Now, I might be pushing the cart before the horse because Kohlberger went to a house that had a whole bunch of cars and he annihilated everybody in there except for 2 people. So I might be eating crow right now. But I always say, don't give the perpetrator a reason to try you. See, Kohlberger, he knew it was all women. He didn't know Ethan was in there. And Ethan lost the battle too, you see, and he was a male. But he assumed it's all women. Out come in the dark. He didn't come when it was daylight, where they all could have jumped his ass and beat him with some pots and pans. He came in the night because he figured they'd be in the bed, okay? Just like this thing, he came in the night. Up, should be asleep, they'll be asleep. Whoever lives here, they'll be asleep. Scary. This is probably one of the scariest stories to me. It is my worst fear. That's why I got to quit talking about Nancy. because I had something else I wanted to talk about today, another live. But because of this TMZ nonsense, I decided to talk about the letter and other things. But I do need to give this story a break until there's something new, because I just feel like talking about something, this horrific is daunting, and it's bad for the spirit. I'm a very spiritual person. I believe in intuition. I believe in all of that. And I don't want to be talking about death every day. People missing. To me, it's a bad omen. Because I've come close to people who had missing people. As you know, I've reported a lot of stories on my network from here in East Tennessee. One of those people, he's still missing, Chad Carter. And nobody can tell me that Chad is not unalived. I know the people unalived him in that halfway house he was in. And it was in the middle of nowhere. And if I ever get the opportunity, we'll take a ride out there. And I'll show you where I think he was murdered. Because I have content of when I go out there. I went out there and I filmed out there. And it was a very scary feeling when I went out there. Because I got lost and I was up on a ridge and it was one way in and I was petrified. Because I said, how am I going to move over if a car's coming to the left of me? It was just a feeling I got being out there when I finally made it to the house, started filming, going live. Bad mojo. I know exactly what happened. And if you go back and watch my content, when you hear me speak, you hear me talk, you hear me tell you the story of the person who I called on the phone that was staying at that halfway house, what they did on the phone with the queen, it would scare the hell out of you. When he hung up, when I asked about Chad, they asked me how did he look. They knew how he looked because they were staying at the house when he was there. But they didn't know that I knew that. Because the queen watches everything. Because see, what he didn't know is that on Chad's Facebook page, you can zoom in on the poster board that sat behind him. And on that poster board were the names of the guys who were living at the halfway house. And I saw somebody's name that I knew of. And I called that person and asked them, did they stay there? Did they know Chad? So they asked me to describe him. I did. And they hung up on me and blocked me. Can you imagine what it's like to have this information and to know they unalived him out there at that halfway house? And TBI, you all have done nothing. The sheriff, you have done nothing. And you all don't even talk about Chad missing still. But I know I've called TBI and the sheriff's office a year ago to inquire, where is this investigation going? And I gave my theory. I said, somebody in that house hurt him. Because I talked to a person who was staying there. And he hung up on me. Once I described what Chad looked like. They knew what he looked like because they were fucking there. My other case, Deshina Kyle. I know some of her family members personally. She went missing a couple years back. Very scary. She went missing from her apartment. People heard the noise, the arguing, glass smashing around. Nobody called 911. Later, she was found at an abandoned house underneath in a tool box, stand-up tool box. Queen went out there. Another place where I got hives and was scared shitless to get out of my car. Because I didn't like the feeling when I turned on the street. Dilapidated houses, old trailers. And I said, sweet Jesus, where am I going? But I wanted to bring you all the content. And some of you have told me, Queen, you're doing too much. Because a lot of you were very scared when I went out there where Chad lived. But I did it because seeing is believing. I didn't want to spin the story to you like what I'm doing now. I wanted to take you there. And I did with Deshina. I took you out there where they found her. Grass high, can't even see a driveway anymore. Neighbors next door, I know they saw something because it was a dead end. And they got drunk. And I told myself, you saw when he pulled up with the truck. Back then, you wasn't wondering what he was doing at an abandoned house in the wee hours. And you didn't call 911, did you? Hey, there's a truck over here. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something. They spoke to me briefly. What side are you on? Are you a part of the family? I said, no, I'm a YouTuber just covering the case. Because I didn't know them people from a can of paint. They could have been related to the perpetrator. Do you understand? I hurried up and filmed and got the fuck out of there. Because I didn't like the feeling back there. Dead end, abandoned house, stupid neighbors with pit bulls running around. Hell no. You see, we live in a world where people do see things, hear things they don't want to tell because they don't want to get involved. That's the kind of world we're in. And perhaps if Nancy lived in a place that didn't have all that shrubbery, street lights on, we'd probably be done talking about this story. We'd be talking about court hearings and stuff like that, bail bonds. People don't care. Because that boyfriend of Deshina, he had to carry her out. Y'all didn't see that when he carried her out? He rented a truck. And obviously he took the toolbox in her apartment, put her in it, and then came right on out and put the toolbox in that rented truck and went on up the highway not too far and dumped her under his relative's abandoned home. He's now doing life in prison. No update on Chad Carr. Feel free to check out the content. Dateline has a special on Chad Carr. His mother and sister were interviewed. Sadly, his mother has passed away. Queen has been around homicide, and it's scary because these people were once breathing and living, and now they're not here. And then there's another case here in my area of a man who was murdered outside his front door, his porch. I don't know what that was about, if it was drug related or whatever. No arrests with that case. And that's scary too, because this person's walking around. And people were gossiping about who they think unalived him. Well, let his grandmother tell it to me. He ain't got nothing to do with that. He didn't do that. He didn't kill that man. I didn't say a word. I don't know nothing about it. Yes, Queen has been around death, unfortunately. And this story here about Nancy scares me because we all have to live. So whether you have kids, grandkids, people to visit, don't visit, you still got to be able to go to sleep at night. And that's the last thing you want, is closing your eyes and being afraid to fall asleep in your own bed. I remember one day I was watching a video. It was probably about a year or two ago. And the person said, if you want to see if a person can break in your house, go outside and try to get in your own house. That was something. I listened to that and it scared the shit out of me, because I said to myself, oh, do you, Mr. Mr. Professional? Julia, you're crazy. I thought about people doing that. So that's going to be my advice to all of you listening who are homeowners. I want you to go outside your door during the daylight and try to break in your own house. And I know some of you are like, what? Just saying. And I'm being serious. If you live in an apartment, I want you to try it. Try to pick your own lock. See if you can slide a credit card through your door. See if that latch will pop up. Because guess what? You are not gonna know until you try it. Now I know you don't want to sit here and go get a crowbar, because now that means you're gonna tear up your door. But you understand what I'm saying? Get the simplest thing you can find to see a way in. So basically just check your windows, your screens, see if they are loose, they're coming apart, they got gashes in them. Just check. Windows that have cracks, that's a no-no. Old window panes, that's a no-no. Doggy doors, no-no. Doors with window panes, Leaving the window up even in the wintertime. Sleeping with the windows up in the spring and summer. That is what the perpetrator is looking for, that window of opportunity. Lock your car door. Stop assuming you live in a nice neighborhood and nobody will come by and steal your car. Steal things out of your car. They will steal stuff with the doors locked. Come on. That's why it's called breaking and entering. They don't have to take the car. They want what's in the car. Stop leaving stuff on your seat. Stop leaving your laptop in your car. Don't do that. Don't leave nothing in there. Don't leave a lot of stuff in there that look like you've been shopping. Because they will break your window out thinking you've bought something nice. They will break your window out. Don't do that. Let them peep in and say, oh, ain't nothing in here. Because one day it's your car, next day it's your house, your apartment, your condo. Don't give them a reason to try you. And as you know, I always talk about the posting. There's certain people I know right now, I wish they would stop posting stuff online. Please stop posting every fucking thing you buy that's name brand. Stop doing that. Exactly. Your mail, pick up your mail. Get somebody to pick up your mail, your newspapers. Because you know what I thought about with Nancy? I said, maybe they thought this was a second home. Airbnb. They're driving by it every day. They don't see no movement. Oh, it's an Airbnb. Maybe they got something in there I can steal, a TV, a flat screen. I don't know. Because see, I don't really know who this person is. And you can't leave your purchases outside the boxes, flat screen boxes, all of that. Don't do that. Break that stuff down and take it to the recycling center. And be careful who you talk to. Such as when the plumber comes, Xfinity guy, do not say I live alone. Do not say I don't have no children here. Don't got no grandkids. I ain't got nobody around. Don't talk. Because you don't even know who you're talking to. Always walk strangers out the door. And I know some of you are saying, Queen, why you say that? What do you mean? What do you think I mean? Never leave your back turned when a person is exiting your door. Make sure you walk them to the door. Because they might slide something on the latch where they can slide their ass back in there later on in the night. Okay, yes, I've tried that with a credit card. I locked myself out accidentally. See, that's scary. Picking a lock. Luckily, when I lived in one apartment, got locked out because I had switched keys from purses and ran out the door with the keys in my hand, but didn't have the keys to my door. That man that came trying to get in my door, he couldn't even get that lock open. Couldn't even do nothing. Couldn't stick nothing in it, jimmy it, nothing. Which was a good thing. Didn't like being locked outside my apartment, of course, all night, but you understand what I'm saying. Because when you call those people to do that, to pick the lot, you know, locked out your your house, they're showing you a person can get in. And I hate having to talk about these things, but I have to because I owe you that. I'm not going to sit up here and talk about this lady and not let you be aware of the space you reside in, the space you call home. It would be wrong of me to just do a live to talk about a missing woman, go on and on about who did it, why, the motive, and don't tell you, oh, by the way, is your house secure? Your apartment secure? Your windows secure? Do you have a plan B in case somebody tries to break in your house? What are you going to do if somebody's out there rambling and messing? You can hear them. Scary. And I think a lot of people probably are tightening their shit after this Nancy Guthrie story. You should. You should be talking to your family members, your elderly parents. You should be walking around their house, checking all the windows, the doors, guest houses. You need to be doing all of that, honey. You need to have an alarm on the house. You need to have sensors on the windows, sensors on the door. So when a person goes up to it, it makes noise. Fuck the floodlight. Ding, 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 ding. It needs to make some damn sounds. As soon as you stop hitting on glass with something, it need to be like World War III going on up there. Check your documents, credentials if possible. Lots of people can purchase clothing, etc. Yeah. You just have to be aware. Because this is how a lot of people are getting robbed too. Yeah. Buying stuff online, shopping, people get your personal information. See, there's scams all over the place. Just like you got to think about when you go get your oil change. You know, somebody sits in your seat, drive your car in, and they can just easily pop the box open, glove box, and get your address on your registration. Now they know where you live. Then all I got to do is now Google the address. Ooh, let me see how much money they make. Let me see. Because, you know, you get the value of the house. Once you Google, you can get the value of the house. So God forbid you ain't got the oil change. You're not paying any attention. You're thinking everybody's all right. And they're Googling your address to see how much money you make by the value of your house. So now your house is worth $800,000. Oh, shit. They got some money. Now here comes the scam. It's a scary world we live in. Family members should have an alarm system connected to their phone so they can be alerted. Yes, everything needs to be connected to the phone. We live in a phone digital era. Everything now is connected to the phone. You know, banking, this and that. And I wish her situation was connected to the kid's phone. The pacemaker, an alarm system that would, you know, go off as soon as you hit a window pane, you know, start making all that wild ass noise to where he would have just been like, you know, he wouldn't be expecting that. So, let me get out of here. And if you all didn't know, Nancy had a camera on that back building. Mm-hmm. There was a camera on the back building, that pool house or guest house. So I suspect we'll be hearing about that as well. So this guy who did this, you are probably going to be apprehended because they are doing the geofencing of everybody that went through that neighborhood, especially in the wee hour, a month ahead of time. You riding through, then you come back the next day. They're checking all of that because now I'm hearing they're going back to January 11th. So they're on to something and someone's. They're checking anybody coming through there. That's how they found Carlos. And you don't have to explain what you're doing going round and around and around 2 o'clock in the morning. You have to explain if you've been over there more than one time and then you're over there at 2 in the morning. And they're going to ask you, did you lose something? And that's been mentioned too about this perpetrator. What did he forget to do? Did he drop something? Probably. How many gloves were he wearing? How did he take them off? Because you know you're putting your own DNA on depending on how you take the glove off. And ding, 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 your hands are in the glove. You have to incinerate them. It's the food born every day. And I think he knows this, whoever he is. He's been watching all of these YouTube videos. He's heard everybody talking bad about him. He knows he fucked up. And he knows it was for nothing. No matter the motive, he knows he fucked up. And like they said, whoever is around him, you need to be watching his behavior, shaved head, mustache gone, goatee gone. He's acting peculiar, antsy, snapping. Any change in behavior, features. Or the flip side, he's cool, calm, and collected. And that is even really scary. You say, yes, so I changed some things real quick after that. Yes. Because as I said, we take a lot for granted just living. We're not thinking about doors and door handles and, can you slide a card through? Most of us are not thinking about that. But I always say, when you shut your door, wherever you live, if it's got too much space, you need to change that. Your door is not supposed to have no space where you shut it. It should not give. That's my point. You don't need space under the door either. You want a steel damn door. You just want to be careful. And sadly, the garage door. You can get a remote that can open a garage door. Also open the doors to cars, if you did not know. Just telling you. And I'm going to throw this out and I'm out of here because I've been on here too long. And it's not to scare you because I'm scaring myself now. It's to keep you aware. The garage door opener. You can buy one of those little gadgets to open any garage door. And I'm assuming only a crook would do that. Unless you need a spare for family or whomever. How did Queen learn about the garage door opener? I'm going to tell you how. Many moons ago, a young Caucasian girl went missing, young lady, Illinois. She had children, young children, and she was married to a cop. Everybody was trying to figure out where she went. Some people said, oh, no, she'll never leave her children. She loves her children. She loves her children. His last name is Peterson. Many of you have heard this story. He became a suspect in his wife's disappearance. He was much older than her, old enough to be her father. They were having issues, and she allegedly wanted a divorce. Well, long story short, Queen read the book. This is back when I was into reading books, 2012 or so, 2011. And I said, I want to get this book on this storyline. Scared the shit out of me. The young lady was friends with the older woman across the street. And the woman started thinking, hey, I think, this guy, he's behind my friend's disappearance. So she was talking to law enforcement, keeping them in the know, woo-woo. He was watching. And obviously he was perturbed. He was upset because he's looking at her like, oh, I thought you were my friend. Why you think I would, hurt my wife, kill my wife? So one day, they had a conversation, Mr. Peterson and the older lady. And he told her, he said, you know what? I can come in your house any day I want to. And I'm sure she was like, huh? So he took the clicker, opened her garage door. When I read that, honey, I was afraid to go to sleep. He was letting her know, I can get in your house any time I want to. Basically telling her to shut her mouth. Thank you, Princess. I can get in your house anytime I want. So you keep talking to the police about me. See, he was a manipulator and intimidator. So he basically letting you know he unalived his wife. You're not going to find her. And to this day, she has not been found, alive or deceased. Many people have come in trying to search for her in lakes and ponds and things. Some people thought maybe they found her at the bottom of a lake up there in Illinois, but so far nobody has found her remains. Okay? It's a very interesting story. If you read the book, I'm telling you, it scared the hell out of you. Because there were signs. he had unalived her. Put her in a drum. I believe he put her in a drum because the guy who he called to help him said he asked him about it the day they went in the bedroom. This shit is crazy. Called him, hey, did you help me do something? So we got him clicking the neighbor's garage, threatening her, letting her know basically I can get to you. Whole wife missing, ain't nobody seen her. Then we got this stupid guy who was doing odd jobs for him. I think he was a basehead, so he would do odd jobs for him. And this stupid guy goes up in the bedroom with him, and there's a drum in the bedroom. Wouldn't you be asking yourself, what is this drum doing in here? You can't tell me he didn't know that man's wife was in that damn drum. Now, he spins the story afterwards. After he takes the drum down the stairs, load it up on his truck. They run off in the night with the drum, wherever they went. He talks about it later, He says, my spirit was telling me something wasn't right about that drum in that bedroom that I helped him carry down. There is no way I'm going to help you carry a drum. Nowhere. But see, Peterson guy, I think it was Drew Peterson, he was a manipulator. He used people. I'm not going to carry no drum, bruh. You have to shoot me or beat me up right here. Hey, honey, I'm not going to help you carry this drum nowhere, bruh. And dude should have known and went and told law enforcement, hey, dude got a drum in his bedroom and he wanted me to help him carry it. I think his wife is in that damn drum. Just imagine had it been fast forward now, you run and tell police about the drum. They could have tracked him with his phone, whatever. They probably would have found her. She would have been dead, but they would have found her. He's scary to me. He's another one that's scary. And he used to put on for the camera, always smiling and talking to the news people. All along, he knew he had unalived his wife. And they also linked him to unaliving one of his other wives. That one, she was found, what was it, in a dry bathtub? Remember that? He got away with it because he was a cop. He was a cop. They knew damn well that lady hadn't drowned in no bathtub. These are real life stories. Hello, Gilligan. I'm gonna get out of here because I done spooked myself long enough fooling with y'all. If you like to reach out to the Queen, big.sexy.71 on Instagram. If one day you want to come on and talk about content we discuss, feel free. I wanted to bring you all a story today, but since this update came, I didn't get to carry the story. But it's a very scary, wicked story of someone unaliving themselves, and the way they did it was so brutal. I was like, man, I gotta share it with the audience because I was stunned when I read it last week. And I might come back on later tonight and talk about it after I have a little bit of dinner. Look how late it is. But I thank you all so much for the love. Hi, sweetheart. And I'm glad I can help you in any kind of way, because that's what we're supposed to do, is help one another. Help one another be safe. And like I said, we all make mistakes, helping people to, being nice to people. And sadly, people do take advantage of that. And this is why you have to be careful, talking to people, bringing them into your home, going into their home, cars, because you just don't know people. And, it's like anything. A person can start off being so kind, so nice, and you deal with them until you see the other side. There's a story I want you to check out. It's on Fandango at home. If you have a Roku TV or a Roku box, Fire Stick, I want you to check out this story of, Lord, what's his name? Was it Soul? The Cleveland Strangler. That's who I want you to look up. It's on Fandango at home. You have the app. You have some free time tonight or this weekend, because tomorrow's Friday. I want you to check it out. I went on and finished it this morning late. Creepy as hell. I've watched other documentaries pertaining to this character, Mr. Soil, and he was unaliving Black women in Cleveland, Ohio. Some of you may have heard of him. He ended up dying in prison. I won't doubt he probably died of HIV or AIDS. They interviewed some women who survived, about 4 or 5 women they interviewed for the documentary. Very good, very good. So those of you who like true crime and you like to see a survivor tell their tale, you will see that in this documentary. The 4 women that were able to escape his helter-skelter home. And the part that got me, I'm going to tell you this one part of the movie, documentary. When the sister started talking, and no, I shouldn't tell you this, but I'm going to go ahead and tell it anyway. When the sister said he came over to her house and he smelled so bad, and she asked him, what is going on? Why do you smell so bad? I want you in my house smelling like this. And he was like, oh, it's the sausage company. Sausage company across the street. What the hell are you talking about? I want you to watch this documentary. Different networks have different documentaries on the Cleveland Strangler, okay? Cleveland serial killer. I think Oxygen, they got their version. Everybody's got a different, documentary, different people they talk to. Some of the people are the same people, detectives, whatever. But it's a scary story of how a person can lose touch with reality and become a demon, a walking, breathing demon, a hater, a woman hater. And basically, I think his version was he never got over the woman who left him. So he began killing women in the neighborhood. And another person who I can think of who had the same motive for killing prostitutes in, I believe it was St. Louis, he was jilted or upset at a woman he was dating or her wife because she was a crack addict. So he hated any woman who was a crackhead and or a prostitute. And that's the one where I told you the girlfriend and him were sitting on the couch and the story came up about the women missing. And they had the profile on the news and she's sitting right there beside him looking like, I believe I'm sitting next to the killer. Man, that was scary as hell. I gotta quit watching this stuff. I said I'm gonna start watching some comedies. But there is a new show coming on Prime that I've got to check out. Nicole Kidman will be starring as a medical examiner solving some old crime, new crimes of a serial killer. And I think it's called Scarpetta. And it's from, what's that author's name? God, I can't think of her name. Patricia Cornwell. It's one of Patricia's heroine. And Nicole Kidman will be starring in the series. And I cannot wait to watch it. I don't have Prime, but it airs March 11th. I saw the commercial this morning and I said, oh, honey, Queen gonna be right there. So that will be my recommendation. The week of March 11th, you'll look on my community page, you're gonna see that series recommended as a movie of the week. We all gonna check it out and we're gonna meet back up and we're gonna discuss what you think of the series, episode 1. I gotta try to find a way to watch it because I don't have Prime. But I do want to check it out because I like Nicole Kidman. And it looks really, really juicy. It looks really, really juicy. I've seen quite a few little mystery, TV series that's new, but I don't have the subscriptions, to some of the networks like HBO and Showtime. But honey, I'm gonna find a way to watch it. Do you know Queen ain't watched no reality TV since talking about Nancy Guthrie? Oh, I ain't watched no Housewives of Potomac, Married to Medicine. Excuse me, I think they start next week. But I was like, oh my goodness, Queen, you watching too much of this YouTube stuff. I need some Golden Girls or something. I need some comedy in my life. I do like stand-up comedy though. So that puts me in a good mood. I like watching stand-up comedy. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. 3 hours and 32 minutes. Chop this live up the best you can when you go back on the replay. Share this network. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. And once again, $McAndrew, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. If you have commentary pertaining to this story or any other story or information to a story, you can reach out to me on big.sexy.71 Instagram. Thank you for your time, everybody. And prayers for Nancy Guthrie and her family. Prayers for justice. Hoping we put an end to this storyline and we get an arrest very soon. Because, as I said, no matter the suspect, the motive, this person is right now walking free. And we really can't assume what he would and would not do. He's free. And we have to pray that he doesn't get jiggy and decide to go push somebody else's damn door open and unalive them. That's my commentary. Thank you for your time. You've been listening to the Vault Excel, okay? Y'all take care. Thank you for watching.